All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the ReelTok podcast. My name is George Carmi, joined alongside, as always, my beautiful co-hosts Cam, Tyler, and Seth. We got a great episode for you guys today. We're doing a couple of reviews of Babylon and the Whale and a quick review of Puss in Boots. We're going to discuss the Oscar shortlist. We got an all things Christmas draft. Before we get into that, as always, we are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Toss us a follow, toss us a subscribe on YouTube, rate us 5 stars wherever you can. It means the absolute world to us. Let's get into our episode. Let's jump right in. Gentlemen, how are we? Cam, you've been off all week. What have you been up to?
Man, not a whole lot. I texted you guys and was like, I've been off for 4 days and I've watched 0 movies. So it was a pretty slow week, to be honest with you, movie-wise. I watched a couple in the back half. This week's kind of been just like getting ready for Christmas. I told you guys our extravaganza for Thanksgiving. It's no different for Christmas. So today we're recording this on a Friday. Normally we record it on a Sunday. Obviously Sunday's Christmas. Happy holidays to all, no matter what you're celebrating, all that jazz. But so we're driving to my wife's dad's house tonight, and then we'll go to her grandparents and see her mom's side of the family tomorrow and Saturday, and then on Sunday we're with my family. And it's just the holidays are always a lot because like our families live pretty close, especially now with the baby. Like everyone everyone wants to see the baby, and he doesn't love driving by any means, but he'll sleep for most of the way. Her dad lives like an hour and a half away, and then her mom's side of the family lives like an hour away. It's just long weekend. It's going to be crazy. And if you're from the Midwest at all, like right now the temperature is literally -10 degrees and it feels like -40. It's absurd. So it's not going to be a fun day of driving, but I think we're going to leave in like 2.5 hours. So like right after recording this, I think by then the road should be fine. We'll be all right. But it's just going to be a long weekend. I'm excited for it. How about you guys? How's your week been?
Has Emma been back at work, or have you been solo parenting all week?
No, she's still with Bailey. So we've been off just hanging out together. It's been nice. It's been nice to see each other rather than just for the couple hours at night, Yeah. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
Sweet. Tyler, what about you? How's your week been going?
You're good.
The one that's watching the most movies out of all of us.
Yeah, well, I've been going to a lot of theater trips. So yeah, been a good week. Saw a good amount of movies. I worked all week until yesterday. So then yesterday finished work at about 3 p.m. and then that was kind of it for until a week and a half from now. So I went to see Babylon after that. But yeah, work was fine. Riley and I are planning on a Orlando trip in January to go to Universal Studios. So
sweet.
I've never been there, so very excited. Like the movie nerd in me is gonna just like eat that up for sure. And she would love it too. What up, Cam?
Low key, next year they're getting the Super Mario World, and that looks fucking
electric. They have to have a go-kart track there, right? Like I feel like they have to.
I assume. I don't know. They have one in Japan. I don't know what it really looks like, but it just looks like I've seen pictures of it, so I don't know all that they have, and it just looks electric.
Yeah, me and Victoria went to the Universal when we were in LA, and the Super Mario World was in like production. It was being built up, and it looked cracked.
That's sick. Yeah, like obviously I'm sure once we get there it's going to be so expensive in terms of like food and like merch and stuff, but at least like the actual like ticket to get in and like the hotels and stuff in the area are actually not as bad as I thought it was, because everyone's always like, oh, Disney and stuff is so expensive, and I think what they mean there is like the food and like the drinks, and while you're on site there is going to be like brutal, but at least like so far I'm not like dying with my wallet, but that should be fun.
You don't even want to know what I spent on that Dumbledore wand at Universal.
Dude, and I'm going to get one too, so it's like, I'll find out what you spent on that Dumbledore
wand. Such a sick purchase, but so unnecessary.
Yeah, no, like, we're already planning on getting, like, the Harry Potter scarves and shit.
Yeah,
and, like, all that
you
good
have
stuff.
to.
Yeah,
where are you at on your, because you have 1 week left to reach 500 movies, so where are you at there?
Oh, good question. I'm at 477.
Just do some shorts.
You've just got to run some shorts.
I mean, I don't work this next week, so
let's do some shorts.
8 days to watch about 20 movies. That's doable. But the thing is, like, my initial plan was when I started TikTok was to do 500 movie reviews on TikTok this year. So that's like completely failed. But like 500 movies watched.
What'd you get to? What are you at?
No, yeah, I just said I'm at 477. So I'm still going to try to get to 500 movies watched and reviewed. Okay. But like in terms of like an individual post on TikTok reviewing a movie, like haven't done that. But
do you think you'll be able to do 23 in a week, full length film? That is a lot of film.
Tyler has 66 hours in a day, bro.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
I think I will, honestly, just because I'm not working.
That's impressive.
And like I don't like I was just gonna say, like, I don't have family around me. Like I tweeted this as a joke, but like low key true. Like I've seen Nicole. Like I've been to the movie theaters more times than like I've seen my family this year by like far. Just because like I've seen my family for like a total of like 36 hours in the year of 2022, like in person.
Where are they? Are they in Minnesota?
Yeah. So. I don't know. Equivalent for you, that's like from UK to like Belgium or something. I don't know. Like
it's probably further.
Probably, honestly, like it's far for me. So yeah, and I'm not going back or anything, and they're not coming here, so we're not really pressed to like Cam is, like bouncing around a bunch of places for Christmas. We honestly have like zero plans.
How long would it take you to fly there?
The flight's probably like 3.5 hours.
Okay, Belgium's like 50 minutes.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah,
even further.
Yeah. That's like us to Greece or Turkey.
So we'll be able to watch movies. So we'll see how that goes. But that's how my week's gone. It's been pretty chill.
Seth, what about you? How's it been over on the other side of the pond?
Pretty good. We've had some snow recently, which I don't like. Obviously, I was speaking to Tyler about it the other day because Tyler, you never get snow ever. I'm assuming so. Yeah, I don't really like it. We get it like every year. I had a family event last week. We usually every year we've been doing this thing on my mum's side of the family where we go over there, have like a fake Christmas. It's basically where we're celebrating Christmas but not on Christmas, so we can all see each other. That's always quite nice. Food is good. We watched the World Cup final as well. I actually watched it. Wow. And you know what? I tweeted this. I was watching it and I was like, yeah, I remember why I fell in love with this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I probably won't watch it again. So who knows? But yeah, it's been a pretty good week. Pretty standard with work and stuff like that. I'm giving myself like a week off or so now, which would be nice. Watched a decent amount of films, maybe like 10 or so, that kind of number. But yeah, pretty good. No complaints.
Awesome. Same for me, really. Nothing flashy, nothing crazy over the last week. Victoria's aunt always has a smaller Christmas event like a week before Christmas, just with one of her friends, and me and my parents were invited as well. So that was last night, which was a ton of fun. But yeah, other than that, I've been watching. We'll get into that. We'll get into what we've been watching this week. I've been watching quite the variation of films. I'm getting into Wong Kar-wai filmography. So I've watched Fallen Angels and In the Mood for Love. You guys should really watch these. These are beautiful acid trips.
What a streaming service have you been ticking them off on?
In the Mood for Love was on HBO Max, and Fallen Angels, where did I watch that? I think I rented that on YouTube, honestly.
I think you might have, because that's not on Prime, so I tried to rent it. Yeah. I watched Fallen Angels like 3 years ago. It's great. I tried to watch In the Mood for Love the other day. I couldn't find it anywhere. So
it's on HBO. You don't have HBO Max.
No, yeah, they don't rent it on YouTube.
That's so brutal. It's one of I put out like my top 10 romance movies of all time. Like I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna redo it because In the Mood for Love might be in the top 5. It was so beautiful. I tweeted, never before has two people walking in slow-mo brought me to tears. It's just a compilation of some incredible shot selections. And Wong Kar-wai again just has this very, I don't know.
It's quite surreal for
it's like a dream-like experience.
It's like a. Did you ever watch the Gaspar Noé?
Enter the Void.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that in the way that it feels as well.
It's just not fucked like that movie.
No, it's not as weird.
Yeah, that movie's fucked. And then listen, every so often, like I posted on my story the other day, I don't want to watch something on my watch list. I want to watch a movie I fucking love. So I watched Arrival.
How many times have you watched that now?
I've seen Arrival. It's got to be, with The Dark Knight, I would say Arrival might be my second most watched film ever.
Really?
And it brings me to tears every time. Every single time I end up in tears. It's fucking stupid. And then Mad Max Fury Road. I texted you guys the other day that I should have been cast as Max, and I stand by that. Cam,
You think?
Cam, have you watched anything? I know you said you didn't really watch a lot this week, but
Yeah, I ticked off a couple 2022. So I went to see The Whale. I was supposed to see Babylon, but then
What was your rating for The Whale? I didn't see it.
we'll get into that, sir.
Oh shit! Yeah, we got reviews for that.
Goodness.
But also, I don't want to breeze by the fact that you had another theater issue because of the weather.
Yeah.
But
So-
this is twice in a month you've had a
weather
canceled
shut-
showing.
Weather shut down my theater. I don't count that as a theater issue. That's a weather issue.
That
That
that's
being
a
said,
theater issue. What
this-
what theater issue?
no,
They shut down for the weather.
this
never
was
had
supposed to be like a massive storm, right? Like so yesterday was 40 degrees, and then I told you like it's -10 right now. So it was supposed to rain all day yesterday, and then basically turn to ice because it's going to get so cold. And so everyone's freaking out about the weather. It rained for like 2 hours and snowed for 2 more hours, and it's like everyone's worried about it. I get it. I hope everyone's safe. It's not that bad. It's like it's.
Could you have made it to the theater?
Yes, I went to dinner. I went to dinner last night.
Is
like-
your theater? Is it like a small one, or is it like an AMC, or is it like quite
What?
an independent one? Your theater?
Is it a chain or is it like a
No,
local?
it's an AMC. But the theater I was in for Babylon and The Whale were like pretty small theaters.
Because I was
in-
a small.
in
I kind of
the
understand
AMC.
it. I understand the small one.
One thing about Babylon, it's not
Dude.
showing anywhere near me in IMAX or Dolby.
How?
Oh, really?
Not
I was
one
seeing it
theater.
in regular. I think
That's
too.
surprising. That's very
Yeah,
surprising.
I'm seeing it tonight. For everyone listening, it's Friday right now, so I'm seeing it tonight on Friday, just on a regular screen.
I will say, Tyler, you mentioned this, like no one was in your Babylon showing. My Whale showing was way more packed than like when I bought my tickets for Babylon Thursday morning. I was the only one. that
No,
purchased.
yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. Like my Whale showing, packed theater. Babylon empty, but it was earlier in the day. But still, like I was looking at showtimes and like when you're selecting seats, like every Babylon showing on opening night was like very sparse. But every Whale showing, because we actually like we're going to one theater for the Whale, but they only had front row seats left. So we're like, screw that, we're going to a different theater that was still packed, but they had other seats. So like the Whale packed showings, Babylon not so much. Will be interesting to see what the box office results are for those two.
That's weird.
Yeah, I feel like Babylon should be, packed with the cast and like
Yeah.
Damien.
The
Chazelle,
marketing,
but
the many
it's really not.
trailers.
I wonder
Yeah,
if it's just
really.
if Rotten Tomatoes dragged it down that much, or if it's just a 3-hour movie. Whales
Yeah, I
are
don't
like an
know.
hour 40. Yeah,
I think
continue.
I think it's the lab. I think it's a 3-hour movie, and a lot of people don't want to waste 3 hours right before the holidays in a theater. 'cause they
Unless
gotta
it's
do-
Avatar.
Yeah.
Unless it's Avatar, sure, fine. All right, let's move on. So we got 3 reviews. One thing
Hey,
to
I didn't
note.
say mine.
Oh, my fault, Seth. My fault, Seth. Seth, what have you been watching?
I've pulled them up and everything. Honestly, if you-
You were so involved in that conversation. I just thought you had mentioned it in
No, I
passing.
watched a few things. I watched the Coen Brothers debut, Blood Simple, which was good. I watched an Estonian horror film on Prime called November. Very, very weird. George, you would probably
It's
like
the
it.
one you texted me about, yeah.
Yeah, it is,
I want
yeah.
to
I
watch
watched
that.
Black Christmas last night, which was just absurd. I really enjoyed it. You can definitely see the influence that's had on the slasher genre as a whole.
Well, now that you've seen it, would
Yeah.
you consider it a Christmas movie?
Yeah, because it's set on Christmas.
Hell yeah.
So
One of the best slashers out
I
there.
changed my criteria because now Die Hard is one for me.
It's called Black Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's got Christmas in the name. Why
Well,
would it
I'm
not?
just
Yeah, because some people it's set on Christmas, but there's nothing really about Christmas in the film, really.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
good enough.
It's
Close
just
enough.
like a plot that takes place on Christmas.
Yeah,
I
that's
watched Francis Ha.
Yes.
I really liked that. I think that'll go up for me on rewatch. And I also watched Banshees of Inisherin. And funny enough, I'm actually watching it again tonight.
God.
This-
And you make fun of George.
Yeah. Well,
No, I didn't. I laughed at George. Then I said I respect it because that'll be
Okay.
me with this film. I only want to watch it again because Anna's not seen it. It's when you watch a film and you love it so much, you just want to show everyone
Yeah,
and you want them to watch it as well. Like, I went to see it on my own the first time. I went to see it a couple of days ago with my mom. We went to the cinema to watch it. She loved it. She loved In Bruges. I expected to. And then I'm watching it with Anna tonight. She hasn't seen any of Martin McDonagh's work, so it's going to be it could go like Tyler's girlfriend, who didn't use like she found it quite boring, didn't she?
Yeah.
So it could go like that. It could go the opposite. But
that's how I am. I told you guys I was watching Everything Everywhere All at Once with Emma last week. We didn't actually watch it, but I feel that way about that. Like I want to show her it, and I want to show my family it.
Yeah, it's like more enjoyable to like just show people. But
yeah.
I'm really excited for that again. I think by this time next year I'll have watched that 15 times. That's not a joke. You can hold me to that. The guy who clips all our videos. You can clip
Movie
that.
Merchant. Go follow
Movie Merchant. You can clip that.
Good guy.
And come back to me. Also follow him on TikTok because he's funny. Anyway.
That's going to be me by next year, but I'll be at like 25 times with the Batman.
Oh, you'll be like 40. Also, I watched Cam. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I did not give it a 1.5 star.
Emma was like talking about that this week, and I was like, Seth watched that this week. She really wants to watch it, so I'm sure I'll watch it here too.
It's trash, but I give it a 3 stars. It's quite fun.
Hey, nice.
I'm sure it's not trash. I'm sure it's just not the Banshees, like it's
no. It's a proper trashy rom-com though. Like all the tropes you have, it's like it's just fun. It's fine. It was fine, but it is whatever. But I didn't give it a 1.5 anyway. So
good.
It's higher than the Green Knight.
Anyway. Stop it.
That's all.
We're moving on. All right, we got 3 movie reviews: Babylon, The Whale, and Puss in Boots. One thing to note: me and Seth have not seen any of these movies.
I couldn't even if I wanted to.
Yeah, Seth couldn't even if he wanted to. They're not out in the UK, and in defense of myself, it's just been busy. I haven't been able to get to the theater as much as I've wanted to. Like we've said in the past, ReelTok podcast is not our full-time job. We got full-time jobs. We got significant others. Cam has a fucking family to deal with. So movies and ReelTok can't be our top priority. So every so often, one of us goes through a spell where we just can't get to the theater to see a big release. So Seth and I are going to take a back seat. Just going to swing it over to Tyler and Cam. I don't think we're going to do spoilers in these reviews. I expect we'll eventually do a full, maybe real quick episode to review Babylon and The Whale, maybe do an hour and 30 minutes of each. So Tyler, Cam, kick it off. Babylon, The Whale, Puss in Boots, go for it.
Yeah, so I'm the only one who's seen Babylon, and I know you two are both going to go see it, and then obviously Seth's going to see it when it comes out over there across the pond. But so I'm just going to keep it real quick, real tight, 90 seconds tops, no spoilers or anything. And like George said, I think we're going to do like a real quick maybe on reviewing Babylon and The Whale a little more in depth, at least probably Babylon, because I think there's a lot more for us to say. I was going to say it's a lot more popular, but we just talked about how I guess a lot more people are seeing The Whale.
Yeah.
So Babylon got very polarizing reviews from critics and audience, because like at Rotten Tomatoes, obviously everyone saw like, oh, the critics score so low, and then I went over there to check the other day, like to see what the audience was, but it's like the same and maybe even a little lower for the audience, which surprised me. It's 3 hours long, and honestly, like what's kind of funny is the pacing to me felt very similar to Avatar. Like the first hour is in your face, go. You're like, whoa, this is going really fast. What's going on? Then like the middle like hour and a half, you're kind of like, okay, this is slowed down a bit, starting to drag a little bit. I kind of wish that like this was tightened up a bit. And then the final like 45 minutes melts your face off. So very similar like pacing that I kind of noticed while watching. I was like, this feels like Avatar, honestly, where the middle you're just kind of like, where are we going here? And then you're like, holy shit. And then the only other, because I gave it a 9.4 out of 10, so very high marks, barely a 4.5. And the only things that I took it down for is that middle third was a little slow, and it didn't feel the most original to me. Like I said, it was like La La Land, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Wolf of Wall Street all combined. But I think you guys will probably feel the same. Like you'll watch it and you'll be like, I think you'll quite enjoy it, but you won't really feel like it's the most like original movie you've seen. It kind of feels like a bunch of movies you've seen before mushed together. But Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt are great. I think Diego Calva was clearly the best actor in this movie, though. He absolutely was incredible. And the score, and again, I said on Twitter, it might be recency biased, might be my favorite score I've ever heard. Like even during this podcast right now, it's stuck in my head. The song Coke Room is just like playing, the saxophone riff is just in my head 24/7. So it's Damien Chazelle with Justin Hurwitz, is going to be incredible score. I very much enjoyed my time with it. It is just like a drug-induced thrill ride of a movie that's a love letter to cinema while also addressing the negatives of it. The final 90-second scene of the movie will actually just melt your face off. Like George especially, I feel like you're going to super appreciate it. But yeah, I thought it was I very much enjoyed it. Like I said, it's the only movie I've literally ever seen that I walked out of the theater and like if I was single and like didn't have a girlfriend or like didn't have a family to come home to, I was like, I think I might just like go buy another ticket and just like sit down for another 3 hours. Like I honestly just like wanted to watch it immediately right again afterwards. Like it was such a fun ride.
Is it in the top like 5, 10 for you this year? Then?
Yeah, I think it's at number 5 for me right now this year. So
interesting.
It was quite good. But again, like in the middle third, like that's the thing. Like it ends on such a high note that I like wanted to like think about it more and make sure I'm not overrating it, because I do genuinely think like the middle hour and a half is like quite slow and drags, and I'm kind of like, okay, this is like, because I remember watching it in my head, I was like, oh, it was a 5-star, and like I'm now like I can feel it dropping down, but then I kind of pick back up again. But 4.5 stars. I can't wait to hear you guys' reaction for it.
What did you give it on your out of 10?
9.4 out of 10. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys
like
think of it.
Right on the edge of a 5 then.
Yep, exactly. And I was close to putting it as a 5, but again, I just think there's enough things there to not put it at a 5. But the soundtrack absolutely bangs. I'm listening to it like 24/7 right now.
What do you think its outlook looks for the Oscars? Obviously, Damien Chazelle, he's probably going to be a shoo-in for Best Director, but can you see it genuinely being a contender for Best Picture? Or can you see Chazelle genuinely being a contender to win that Best Director award?
So I'm kind of like a nerd with the Oscars and follow a lot of people that are like supposed to be like Oscars insiders and stuff. And the vibe I'm getting from people like the Academy and like the general people that are very into that stuff is none of them really seem to be the type that are like in this movie. Like you said, I don't even know if Damien Chazelle is going to get the Best Director nomination for this, because like I've seen a lot of critics which like super out of pocket reviews. Like I read one last night from like a hoity-toity critic. He's like, he hated Babylon. He's like, honestly, Damien Chazelle is not a good. Yeah, he's like, honestly, Damien Chazelle is not a good filmmaker. I'm like, that's like saying like Tom Brady's not a good quarterback. He's like, this dude's won every time he goes up to play, and you're just gonna be like, yeah, he's just not good at making movies. So
it's just an objectively incorrect statement.
Yeah, I know.
And I know we shouldn't say objectively when talking about film, but like, come on.
Yeah, but I don't really think this will get much Oscar buzz, especially because it's not really a popular movie either. If the box office and like ticket sales keep going the way it does, but I really enjoyed it.
It's too wild to get like a Best Picture winner, isn't it? They always go for the straightforward narratives a lot of the time.
Yeah, I feel because this is like similar to the Fablemans in terms of like it's a love letter to cinema, but I feel like they like the Fablemans more, where it's like just a love letter to cinema without talking about some of the negatives. Like they're like, hey, don't show our flaws.
I haven't seen the Fablemans, and I feel like that'll be 100% a front runner.
Yeah,
like, it just screams to me. Or Tar, maybe something like that. Along those lines.
That's just the Steven Spielberg effect.
Yeah, Tar's getting hella buzz too. But yeah, I'll leave it there for Babylon. And George, so you're seeing it tonight, Cam. I know you tried to see it last night. You don't have anything on the agenda yet for like when you're gonna see it? You think, Cam? But probably within the next 10-ish days.
Yeah, I'll see it by next week most likely, but it's gonna be hard before. We talked about it. We'll try to get like a bunch of ReelToks filmed, possibly Monday. I think George doesn't have work. I'm off. It might work out to where it's a day we can film a bunch. I don't know if I'll be able to see it by then, but I'll see it in the next week or so, no doubt. I also realized I didn't actually, when I was saying the movies I watched, I didn't actually say any movies I watched. I just said that I didn't see Babylon. I watched Decision to Leave, banger, incredible movie, and I watched The Menu this week, and I really like that as well.
What did you rate Decision to Leave? I don't think I saw your.
I haven't put any Letterboxd reviews up for any of these, but it's a 93 out of 100, so it's my 5th movie of the year.
I think it's right where I had it too.
I know someone else here who hasn't put up a Letterboxd review that I've been waiting for a while.
Yeah, George actually skipped over me too for the movies I watched this week, but it's okay.
George!
Oh my!
And yeah, so I actually wrote this on my rundown, like Barry Lyndon, but I want to save that conversation until after I post my review, which will be today, because like
that deserves a real quick, doesn't it? Like an hour. Or something.
I'm just a nerd with Letterboxd. Like when I don't just throw up a Letterboxd review, like I always like sit down and write a ton of shit. So like that's why I've been pushing off Barry Lyndon. Like I'm not just gonna put up like my review, and I feel like it's a movie that we've talked about and hyped up so much because like you're number 2 of all time, right, Seth? Or is it 1? 2?
Currently 2. It's never going to be 1.
Right.
It's never going to be 1, Tyler.
Right. Okay, but I knew it was top 2. But so number 2. Yeah. But so because of that, I feel like it deserves me writing a proper review for it. So it'll come out today. I guess people listening to this Friday, it already came out. But yeah, Cam, do you want to transition into the whale now?
Yeah, sorry. So here's some quick news. I'm trying to tweet it real quick. There's a Stranger Things anime spinoff in the works called Stranger Things Tokyo. So that's breaking news. That won't be breaking.
That's not a dispussing film. Dispussing film.
No, that's legit.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry, so I'm trying to tweet that from the ReelTok.
No, you're good.
Right
I'll carry us into the
you
whale.
do the whale real quick.
Well, so one thing that's interesting, which you'll hear later in the show today, is we're going to talk about our ReelTok award nominees. And Cam just said he watched The Menu, which had Hong Chau in it. So I asked Cam because he said Hong Chau for Best Supporting Actress, and I was like, "Do you mean for The Menu or for The Whale?" And you said for pretty obvious. You said like obviously.
I thought it
was
pretty
whale.
obvious that it was.
I thought she was great in The Menu though too.
I think she was. Yeah, that's probably
like really great. Like I would have not have been surprised if anyone
okay.
nominated.
That's fair.
Great in The Whale, but yeah, Hong Chau was also great in The Whale. But I'll start off with The Whale here. Another polarizing film. For different reasons than Babylon. It's Darren Aronofsky though, so like unlike Damien Chazelle, like Darren Aronofsky, like it's gonna probably be obvious it's gonna be a polarizing film for most people. More so than Damien Chazelle, you'd say that. Like, come on, Darren Aronofsky is more a polarizing filmmaker than Damien Chazelle.
Yeah, definitely more.
Not even an argument.
Yeah, Mother versus La La Land. I mean,
100%
not even.
more. I'm just thinking of Aronofsky's filmography. Okay, maybe Mother actually, his last one. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what's fresh in people's mind. But
yeah, I guess so.
The Whale, like I thought Brendan Fraser absolutely lived up to the hype of his performance, which is hard to do because the hype was immense. Like it started back in like September, where people were like, "Oh, he's getting the longest like standing ovations and stuff." But he lived up to the hype, and like Cam and I just talked about, Hong Chau, who is the assistant to Ralph Fiennes in The Menu, is the nurse for Brendan Fraser in The Whale, and she's incredible. Like she's having such a great year in 2022, so I'm excited to see where that takes her. And then Sadie Sink though, and Cam, I really want to hear your thoughts on this. When she did the angsty teenager stuff, it didn't work for me. It felt super forced. But when she was, but in the emotional scenes, like when she had to do emotion, blew me away. Like she was incredible in those. But when she was like the mean angsty teenager, like it just felt super forced to me. So I don't know. I'll kick it off to you there. What do you think on those performances?
I'm gonna be honest. Like this is gonna be the stupidest thing I've ever said, but I think Sadie Sink was the second best part of that movie, and it's the stupidest thing I've ever said because I said Hong Chau should win for supporting actress. Maybe I should have put Sadie Sink there, but who cares? I'm an idiot. It doesn't matter. Brendan Fraser obviously does an incredible job. Like without a doubt. I think I put him in as the best performance of the year. I can't remember exactly. It's one or two.
It's
also, God damn it,
those.
It's so hard doing that and like not trying to just look at the Oscars list, like trying to just or like your guys' list. It's so hard to actually nominate.
Yeah,
people.
that was my bad. I meant to send that out with like
ages.
I meant to send out the nominees list as blind CCs because I didn't want you guys to reply all so you can all see each other's because I wanted it to be like whatever, but whatever.
I didn't look at your guys.
I didn't look. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I except for I think I did for like a couple maybe production design and just see where your heads was at because that's like shit I probably don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm never gonna make fun of the Oscars again. There are a couple of the Oscars missed that like it's the easiest thing to hit. We'll talk about that later, but man, that's hard.
I saw someone on like their letterboxed list of their 2022 rank. You know how you can like add a bio? Someone added like his running top 5 of each category in his bio. So anytime he added a movie, he would update every single category if needed. So he just kept it running for like the whole year.
Yeah, I think next year I'm gonna like
that's kind of smart. I think I might try.
Hopefully
to do that.
We keep this going. In my notes app, I'm gonna just like mark down when there's a great performance because like I forget, man, and it's
yeah.
I was like looking at my movie rankings and I'm like, was there a great performance in that? Was there great cinematography in that? Like I hadn't thought of it while doing the actual review, or I had, but I probably forgot by now. But back to The Whale. I don't know what my score is, to be honest with you. This is a movie like I am kind of dumbfounded on, and I kind of want to see it again just so I know where I'm at. So I haven't given it a score. It'll be around a 3.5. I didn't love it. I hate the ending. I hated the ending.
The final like 5 seconds, especially.
Yes. Yeah. The final 5 seconds. Let me know what you guys.
But like the final like scene, I really like the emotional back and forth. The final 5 seconds was awful.
Just let us know what you guys think when you see it. I hated it.
Is it what you expected it to be?
The movie?
Or does it kind of?
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah, just kind of. I'm gonna give you. I mean, like, it's done in a way that's interesting.
One thing though is like a lot of people harp on the fact that they're like, oh, it's like a play translated to a movie because it is a remake of like a play into a film. But everyone's like, oh, it's a single setting. Like people walk on stage, walk off stage. But like to me, I think maybe just because I read so much of those reviews before going into it, like it never really like seemed to me like, oh, it was a single setting, one person coming in, coming out. It just seemed like a normal movie. Like, I don't know, Cam, if you felt like it felt like a play where people were walking on set, walking off stage. It just felt like just a single set, like something like The Guilty or something. I don't know. Like, it didn't bother me. It didn't take me out of the moment or anything.
Yeah, kind of.
I was fully entranced for this whole thing because like it was like just under 2 hours, and it's a movie that like based on what it is like should be somewhat a boring film, but I was fully
feel
locked
boring
in.
like that. Yeah, I'll give it that. It didn't feel boring. One thing, it kind of felt like at some points it was like it was losing story a little bit to kind of be like, hey, look how fat this dude is, which I guess you kind of have to show like the severity of it, and I understand that, but I can see how it might not have gone over all that well and might be offensive to some people, but like there were definitely points in it that was like,
oh, it's definitely vulgar, where's aggressively offensive.
How does this affect the story actually, or is this just to show like he's fat, you know? I
think a lot of people could and will take offense to this movie because it's very not only just about obesity, but like the family drama aspect, like that would have been like not just about like being obese, it's just like abandoning your family or whatever. Like very like cruel movie. Like they definitely push it pretty far.
Do you think this could be the first film we all give a different rating?
That would be interesting. I mean, I don't think anyone else will give it a 4.5, so that we're already 1 for 1 right there. That I think everyone will be different from me.
It'll be interesting to see where everyone lies. This was, like we said, my theater was kind of packed for this thing. So this was like the first movie in a long, long while I've sat next to someone, and I like had to. I normally I'm a seat in between.
You're me.
Yeah, like I never sit next to people. One point for the reason I get on my phone to take notes, and I didn't really take notes during this. I did take two. And it's like things I mentioned. I had written down within the first like 10 minutes or 20 minutes of the movie. Sadie Sink is just an absolute dick in this thing. Like just the meanest person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
She's just horribly mean, but you guys will see that. And then also my other note is Ty Simpkins is like looks the least like someone looked when they were a kid that I've ever seen in my life. He looks nothing like he did.
What is he from?
When he's the guy, he's the little kid in Iron Man 3. He's the little kid in Jurassic World, but he looks nothing like he did as a kid.
Are these the high IQ, sophisticated notes you take during a movie?
Yeah, dude.
This guy's pulling his phone out in the middle of the
to take those notes.
I told you. I took them
write that
within the first
Sadie Sink is a dick.
Yeah. I didn't have any more notes.
Which, to be fair, I don't think on that one you had to take a note of because the whole movie, I was just blown away by this. She's like the meanest person I may have ever seen in a film.
Exactly. And
then like I saw a lot of people saying like they didn't like it because they tried to like give her an emotional like or redemption arc, but I don't think they did. I think it was just inside his mind he was giving her.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and I think it was like, I don't know. They gave her a bit of a reason to like it is her dad, you know. I'm sure she cares about him to an extent, you know. But yeah, she's just the worst in this thing. And then also I told you I did take out my phone one more time to text you guys. There was a dude in this theater snoring, man.
I've heard that before.
he was, and this is not a loud movie, obviously, because it's very set in one location. Yeah. It's dialogue driven. There's not a big like score. It's just this dude. Not the entire time, but for a good like 20-minute round, and no one woke him up, man.
Why did you wake him?
He was like 2 rows in front of me, and I could hear him still, and people were laughing at him during it, but no one woke him up. I know, man. It was so funny. Yeah, I had to text you guys that someone was just taking a snooze during this thing, all-time moment. But that's all I have. I don't know where I'm gonna land.
Have any of you ever fell asleep in the cinema?
Yeah, I fell asleep during Amsterdam. I said that.
I think I did for like a minute on Amsterdam.
Here's one I'm not proud of, but it was just like I was so damn tired at the time. I fell asleep my first viewing of Uncut Gems. and that's a movie.
It's a hard movie to
I know.
fall
I
asleep
just
during.
no. That's a hard. I went
Fucks.
back, man, because like I fucking
Jesus.
loved that movie. I went back and I loved every bit that I wasn't asleep, and I fell asleep for like 10 minutes, but I was so tired. The theater was empty. I was alone. Not my best moment.
That's the exact opposite of a film you'd fall asleep to.
I know, man. Just
That's crazy.
I always say it's like one of the most anxiety-inducing movies of all time. But man, I was so tired. It was back in college, I think. I don't remember when it came out, but I don't know.
2019.
But we can probably leave the whale there. Like I said, right when I
it'll
left
be
the
around
theater,
a 70 for me.
right,
70-ish.
right. Like I said, right when I left the theater, I very much enjoyed it. Gave it a 4.5, but don't expect any of you to give it there. Like I don't know. I think I've dealt with like weight issues my whole life, never like to this extent, but so I could relate and empathize with a lot of stuff in there. So I feel like it like hit me a little extra just because I like was a super overweight kid, like lost a ton of weight. Now I'm like gained a ton of weight. It's just like dealing with those. You can kind of relate to a lot of stuff like the binge eating and like the trying to be good, but then just like one small thing goes your way and you're like, fuck it. Like the floodgates are open now and I'm just going to give up. So I think it like impacted me a little extra that way. And Brendan Fraser absolutely lives up to the hype. But people were crying in my theater like hard, like similar to the spoiler alert where I could just like hear people like gasping for air, like sobbing.
Did you cry? Or did you?
I got watery eyes. I never cried. And same with my girlfriend. And she hates sad movies, but she didn't end up crying. And I think it's just because you'll see this when it happens. Like there's just some choices Darren Aronofsky makes that kind of take away from like being fully immersed in the emotional moment.
Fucking weird.
At some points, it's like he tries to make it like such a disgusting thing, which I'm sure will offend people to where it like takes you out of it a little bit rather than like a sad moment, you know, and it is sad, but not like cry sad.
George, George, you've seen Requiem for a Dream, haven't you? I don't know if these two guys have, but you compare it to that, wouldn't you? Where he puts things in that are like visually so distressing, it's past the point of sad, and you're just like,
I still think Requiem for a Dream is.
You've seen this? Oh, you've seen Requiem? Oh,
I watched it a couple weeks ago.
All right,
not a couple of weeks ago at this point, probably a couple months ago, but
like a year ago.
Yeah.
So Cam, I'm the only one who's seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, right? So I'll do even quicker than I did for Babylon because I didn't do that as quick as I said it would be. So Puss in Boots like is a movie that I've been seeing. Like I guess people saw some like early premieres. So I feel like I've seen like tweets about it for like a month or two
for a while.
Of people like hyping it up and. Like, believe the hype. Like, I mean, it's not the greatest movie you're going to ever see, but it's not a meme or a joke, people hyping this up. Like, I give it an 8.1 out of 10 for 4 stars. Like, it's genuinely...
4.1 at the moment. Like,
yeah, it's a genuinely very good movie. Like, the animation's awesome. Like, obviously, I'm not going to compare it to Into the Spider-Verse, but it's, like, something similar in terms of, like, there's an animation style for the movie, but then once a fight scene starts, like, the animation style kind of switches up, and it's, like, really cool how it does that. The voice acting's great. Genuinely funny. Like that to me, like a good mark of a good like animated like quote unquote kids movie is like when there's jokes that like kids will laugh at, but then there's also jokes in there that like the kids might not necessarily get, but like the adults will be like, oh, that's funny, but like none of the kids are gonna understand this. And there's like a genuinely like engaging plot with like an emotional story arc. Felt very similar to like most animated movies these days where there's not much room to breathe. Like it's an hour and a half and like, you know, kids' attention span. So it's like storyline. Like there's no like it just goes very fast. So I mean the time flies through the movie. There's genuine moments I laughed out loud. Like I said, animation was great and just genuinely like just a solid ass plot. Like I just think I think everyone here will watch this movie and be like, that's a genuinely just good movie. So
I'm certain this is a movie I'll love.
Yeah, well, and like
that's the 5.
I hate being this kind of guy, but like it's just genuinely like cute. Like the animation of the cats, like
I believe it.
Freaking cute, dude. And like Puss.
I thought this would be like a Minions thing, like where everyone was like memeing it at first. I didn't think it'd be like actually good, but every review I've seen has been really positive.
Yeah. So basically, and this is
the last one wasn't good, was it? I can remember.
No,
I don't even think it was
the original Puss in Boots.
Yeah,
I
like 2012, something like that.
So basically, like here's a quick plot, and like there's no spoilers. Like genuinely, like if you looked up the plot, this is what it is. So Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is basically, you know, cats have 9 lives. He has died 8 times at this point, so he is on his last life. So if he dies, he's done. And there's like this magical wish that this one super rich, like big greedy guy has, that him and some other like assassins are trying to steal for different reasons in their life that they need to wish to change their luck or change their life. And his wish he's trying to get is to wish for more lives. So that's ultimately the plot, is he's on his last life and like kind of like crazily like tackles like anxiety like pretty well in this movie. Like he has a lot of panic attacks and stuff. And I'm like, damn, like is this like animated kids movie like actually like tackling real world issues like better than I've seen a lot of genuine films do it. So I loved it. Oh my God. But there was like 5 teenage girls sitting right the row in front of us. And our theater wasn't that big, but they picked the seats right in front of me and Riley. And they were just like the classic, like after school, go see a movie, but we don't even care about the movie. We're just like hanging out. They were just on their phones, like laughing, like messing with each other the whole time, not watching the movie. Like I genuinely just wanted to like kick their seats.
I hope you said something.
You say things to people in public, Seth?
Yes.
I've never said anything ever to a person in public.
No, because I'm like, I don't like people, but I will tell people I don't like people. So I went with my mum once, and there was this couple next to us. It was when we went to see Men. So I had a guy snoring behind me at first, all right, which was quite funny. Men was a bit shit anyway. So
yeah.
But I had this couple, and they were my age, and they just wouldn't shut up. And then eventually I turned around and I went, "Can you like shut the fuck up, please?" And then they shut up, because the thing is, if you don't say anything, they're not going to shut up.
I know. No, I don't want to inconvenience.
And I would have in this one.
Anna hates me. I do it all the time.
I would have in this one, but the only reason I didn't is because, like Cam said, the guy's snoring. Like The Whale's a very quiet movie. Like there is a score, but it's very emotional and muted, not very loud, and then there's dialogue. Whereas Puss in Boots, like there's so much action sequences and loudness going on that for 90% of the movie didn't even bother me that they were like talking and stuff, because like it's such a loud, like the movie's like loud action, so like I didn't really hear them. But the part that pissed me out the most is they talked to shit ton during the end, which is when it gets super emotional, and I genuinely think this movie could have made me cry. Like I actually think it would have made me cry, but they were so fucking loud and talking and fucking around in front of me that like you can't get locked into an emotional moment like that. So that part, like I feel like a little piece of like a movie moment was stripped from me. So that part pissed me out. But at that point, like the movie was done, so I was like, whatever, go on with your life.
I didn't realize how good the cast was. There's some really good actors in this.
Yeah, like Florence Pugh is like the main female cat, and
really
Olivia Colman.
Yeah, your favorite.
I sneak her into like every episode now. Honestly, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna need to rewatch Puss in Boots, because I have it at an 83 out of 100 and a 4 out of 5 stars. I don't really remember it, to be honest with you. That's probably something I watched a couple of years ago. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a 2.9 on Letterboxd. It's probably not as good as I have it rated, but I don't know. Maybe I liked it at the time.
Animation bias.
Let's move on from movie reviews. Like we said, we'll maybe do a real quick next week when we've all seen all of these movies, except Seth. Sorry.
Oh, good. I'll be here. It's fine.
Just come to America. We're gonna throw things a little out of order today. Listen, like we said, it's the holiday season. We're a little pressed for time, but we still did want to get an episode out. So just in case we have to cut the episode short, we're gonna do the draft now. And then we're going to get into our news, and then we'll wrap up the episode. So we're going to do our draft.
And then we're doing ReelTok awards, right?
Yeah, and then Tyler will give his little briefing on the ReelTok awards, what exactly that is, how we compiled our list of nominees, and how you guys are all going to get involved and help us select the winner.
I love the term briefing. That makes it sound so official what I'm about to do.
We are very official about this.
Yeah.
And for those of you listening, we spent a great deal of time yesterday compiling our list. This shit is not easy to do.
Dude.
I don't care how well you think you know movies or how many movies you've seen this year. If I asked you to put together a top 5 cinematography or production design, it's going to take you 20 minutes each.
It takes time.
So it is the holiday season. By the time you watch this episode, Christmas will have been yesterday. So our draft of the week is going to be all things Christmas, the same thing we did around Thanksgiving with all things Thanksgiving. You can pick anything. You can pick a Christmas tree. You can pick the fucking snow. You can pick presents.
So I just want to make sure we can't pick Christmas, right?
No, you cannot pick Christmas.
It's
such a you thing to say.
Well, I was just
also one other question that I'm pretty sure like I know the right answer to, but you can't draft Christmas movies, right? You have to pick a Christmas movie.
Yeah, you have to pick the actual movie.
Right, which I assumed, but
yes.
I'm with you there, Tyler. I have that same question. Same with Christmas music, right? You got to pick the album.
You have to pick a song or an album or an artist.
Perfect.
So the order, Cam, you got the first pick, Tyler, George, and then Seth has got the fourth pick. Let's start us off. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really prepare for this draft. I'm just kind of going to hopefully wing it.
I'm trying now, man.
Yeah.
I suck.
I've got to try.
I suck, man.
Did you see one?
Did you see there was one guy who has like a win is like 4 points,
Yeah.
second place is 3, third is 2 and 1, and he's got like points, and that's kind of crazy that like people care about this.
Wait, someone's done that for us.
Yeah, so check like
Yeah.
our replies to some.
Which like Cam, no, Cam,
No, you're
for you and Seth,
Yeah.
like it makes
Yeah.
you look better than just having
no.
wins, because wins
Yeah,
are like
no.
George and I are so far up, whereas this one
It's
is like
like-
it looks like more.
It's like George has like 42, Tyler has 36, I have 29, and Seth has 26 or something
Right,
like that.
which
So
sounds
it
a lot
doesn't-
better than
wire.
8-7-1-0.
Oh,
Yeah.
did they do it in like second place, third place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
makes you look better.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Cam, kick us off. The first pick of the All Things Christmas draft. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I feel like this is a lock at
Come
first.
on,
I don't know
please
what you
don't.
guys think. You have to take him. It's the big Saint Nick. It's Santa
Yeah,
Claus.
of course.
Santa Claus. What, you don't think
I
that's a
wouldn't
lock?
have taken that. I wouldn't have taken that first.
I don't-
Really? Okay.
I
I think that'd be second for me, to be fair.
I don't think it's a bad. I don't think there's a locked first pick.
I don't know. I feel like all things Christmas, you think it's Santa Claus.
Tyler, second
Well,
pick, my man.
sorry if it's a greedy pick, but opening presents was my first pick.
Of course.
That- so-
Opening presents
so-
is a goat move.
That was definitely, the 1-2, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I respect that.
I think that was the general consensus of the 1-2.
hmm
I don't think this is the general consensus third pick, but it is something every single person in the world hears around Christmas time, and that is Mariah Carey's "All I Want for
Bro,
Christmas."
I didn't think that.
Easy.
I did
Oh,
not
I
think
think
that
you
would
get
get
that.
picked.
I love how every
Oh,
single
my
one of
next
us,
one.
that was our pick. Like, I don't think they're going to pick that.
Yeah,
Here, all
right?
four of us are
Yeah.
saying, like, dang.
I said to Anna, I was like, no one's gonna pick that. I'm not gonna pick
Yeah, dude, so did I.
Damn.
Man. I was like, I'm getting that so easily.
that.
I could take that fifth round.
Honestly,
No one's gonna
same.
pick
That was my plan the whole time, too.
Yeah, like I thought
Oh,
I
God.
could get the fifth round.
Oh,
That's
okay.
awesome. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna take a Christmas tree.
Gotta be.
Yeah, that works.
It's a,
that works.
I think that has to be a
Good
first
pick,
round
good
pick right
pick.
there.
And I'm gonna take Home Alone.
All
Yeah,
right,
It's
the
good.
first
Good bend around the
movie.
turn.
The first movie off the table. See now,
Yeah.
with my second pick, kind of want to go in the movie direction. You guys know what movie I want to take, but at the same time,
Don't take it.
there are other Christmas things that I'd like to take. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Die Hard.
Mm,
Oh,
There it is. I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
Thanks.
Tyler.
Oh, it's me. Shit.
Yep.
You know what? Just gonna continue with Christmas staples. Christmas lights.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Interesting.
Good one. I do like Christmas lights. I hope this counts. It's not Christmas, but Christmas Eve. Can I take Christmas Eve or no?
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a subsection of Christmas. I like
Sure.
Christmas Eve.
Subgenre.
So like my family's tradition when I was a kid, obviously we can't do it now because I travel so many places, is we open when we are kids, we open presents from the family on Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day is like from Santa Claus. So,
Mhm.
that was always good memes for me. And then next I'm gonna take the best part about like just winter in general, and that's hot chocolate.
Nothing
Cool.
better
Wait,
than a
what?
nice cup of hot cocoa.
Yeah.
What is cocoa hot chocolate? Is that what you
Yes.
say?
Hot
Hot
cocoa is-
cocoa.
yeah,
Hot
cocoa, yeah.
cocoa. Whatever
Okay.
you want to call it.
Thanks. No, I want you to say hot chocolate, Cam. That's
Mhm.
fine with me. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not getting silly with it.
Tyler with the third pick in our All Things Christmas.
You know what? My first pick was so greedy with opening presents. I got to throw Seeing Family on there for this pick to even it out.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah,
I didn't have that. That's interesting. That's a good one.
Yeah. That's a good
Maybe
one
it's just
for
I,
sure.
How
I
are you-
don't
how
see
are
my
you gonna
family, so
put
I'm
that
longing
in?
for it. How am
How
I
are you
gonna
going
what?
to put that in the graphic?
Just a pic. Just
see
get a
if I-
Google image
You
of
can-
family
I think-
and just write family.
Yeah, I
on
think
it.
we had that for like
Yeah, we did
fall,
that for
the fall draft
Thanksgiving,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
did you?
Yeah. I had to put a lot of text over that one so people understood what we were doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe an untraditional pick for my third pick, but I'm gonna go NBA Christmas.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I
Wow,
like
didn't
that
expect
a
that from
little bit.
George. I thought that might be a
Yeah,
Cam
no,
pick.
I like.
But
No, I don't care for the NBA to be completely.
that's good.
honest
Like
with
I
you.
never would have thought of that, but I don't give a shit about NBA until the playoffs. But NBA Christmas, I will watch.
I do like
So-
NBA Christmas. Yeah,
But
I'm
this
not
year,
gonna-
yeah, I guess, yeah, football's
something to
on
put on.
Christmas Eve this year. Yeah, football's on Christmas Eve. Okay,
there's a couple games on Sunday, isn't
right.
there?
Yeah. Who is it? Seth now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And fourth pick.
I don't really like it, but I'll take snow. I thought you associated with that.
No.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna go with childhood memories. I'm gonna go with an advent calendar.
Nice, dude.
Oh, that's a good pick.
I love an advent calendar.
Dude,
I haven't
when
had
I-
one in years.
A couple weeks ago, when I went to my girlfriend's house, or when we traveled back to Dallas, they had cheese advent calendars. I ripped
Yeah,
that
that's-
whole
that's
shit
like
open, and
adult
I ate so much cheese that night. I'm not using it as an advent calendar. I just
I
open every
love
day.
an advent calendar, man. I love it.
With my fourth pick, I'll get a little more religious on the board, and I'll go a nativity scene.
Okay.
I feel like
I like it. I like it.
that's a
My
snake
neighbor's
reference.
got a huge one outside in their yard.
Wait, what? Oh, he went snow and
Snow and advent
and
calendar.
advent calendar.
How you guys over there, like, okay, more to Cam and Tyler because they're not in New York. Is it like really common for people to have all the decorations outside the house and stuff like that?
I'd say it's very common,
I
at least
mean,
for
okay.
where I am.
How much decorations do you mean? Like even my family puts out lights, but like
you watch a Christmas film which is based in the US,
yeah.
like Home Alone, and it's like crazy. Like
Yeah,
lights.
I don't know. I don't see much anymore. Christmas spirit dying, rip. But I don't see much anymore like crazy. Like
You know what I
homes,
mean? don't you? Like,
but
all
now
out,
I
Yeah.
like even my family like puts out lights and decorates, and every house I see like has some sort of lights,
Right.
but not
really.
like
Everyone does
Yeah.
the bare minimum, just like string of lights, but then some
Yeah.
people go,
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
do that. They don't do that.
that's fair.
All right, Tyler, fourth pick.
All right. How about just vacation? Time off from school or time off from work?
Love it.
I was worried I wasn't gonna get mine. My one. So this is my fourth pick. My one movie is gonna be Elf. I love Elf. That's
That
my
was going to be
favorite.
my next pick, so good pick by you to take.
Okay,
that.
yeah.
That is a
Thank
good
you,
pick.
thank
That
you.
is a good pick.
And then lastly, I'm gonna go underrated Christmas album, and I don't know if it's actually underrated, but
Say
we're
it,
going.
say it.
Yeah,
Say-
we're going
say it
Justin
like
Bieber's Under the
Oh.
Mistletoe album. Duh.
There was one that I thought if you were going to say that's underrated, I was going to smack you through the webcam and say that's the most rated Christmas
What?
album
Which
of all
one?
time.
There you go.
I'm not going to
I
say it
thought-
in case anyone takes
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
but there's just
yeah.
someone that I thought you were about to get
Yeah.
there.
I think Under the Mistletoe has some bangers, man. It does. It does.
My pick for my last pick right now,
Yep.
Yep.
Christmas dinner.
Nice.
Get some
W.
ham, get
Yep.
some potatoes. Beautiful.
Yep. And back to what I was saying earlier, we do our Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve, so I like Christmas Eve, But
Yeah, I didn't
continues.
mind the other day. Yeah.
Continue, George.
My fifth pick. We took Christmas dinner, so I'm gonna take Christmas desserts. Or do you guys want me to pick one specifically? I'm gonna take a gingerbread man.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I would even give you like gingerbread house / like
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to take like Christmas cookies as a whole.
yeah,
I'll
like
do-
like
I'd
the
do-
I'll do-
general.
All right, I'll do Christmas cookies.
I think that makes you look better than desserts.
Right, because then the graphic can have like the Christmas tree normal
Yeah,
cookie with the
yeah.
gingerbread cookie. Like you can have all
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
cookies.
All right, I got Christmas cookies as my final pick.
It's a great pick. Seth, close us out.
Seth closing out the.
I'll be
draft.
honest. Most of my ones have been taken, and I'm gonna just do it because this is such a me thing to pick.
God.
I'm gonna take Home Alone 2.
You know, you didn't pick it in the
it's a
sequels
good
draft.
movie.
You're staying true to
I know,
yourself.
yeah.
You
It's
redeemed
true.
yourself here.
Bro took Home
I
Alone.
wasn't gonna
Don't get
pick
me
both
wrong.
of them, but all of mine have been taken. So
It's a very good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Tyler, was the album you were thinking of Michael Bublé?
Yeah, I thought he was about to go there and say,
Okay,
I don't know
yeah.
if this is underrated. And I'd be like,
No.
that's the most like
is he
rated
big in
album.
the US?
He's huge. Around
I'd say that's like the
Christmas
number one
I
Christmas
thought it was
album.
English.
Yeah.
Me and Adam had this conversation.
I-
I thought
hey,
it was English.
It's a
He's
good
so
album.
big
Don't
here.
get me wrong, but I'm still happy with Under the Mistletoe. That's just it's
No,
got fire.
I actually really like Justin Bieber's too, but I just was gonna have an issue if you said Michael Bublé's was
no,
underrated.
that's fair. I also so I didn't know if after honorable mentions or you run through them.
Yeah,
First.
run through
go-
them.
All right, Cam's got Santa Claus, Christmas Eve, Hot Cocoa, Elf, and Justin Bieber's Under the Mistletoe.
You've
If
ruined
you're
it at the end again.
I
man.
don't think if we had more female listeners,
No,
Cam-
I don't think that's a
would
bad pick.
sweep.
But I don't think it's going to get votes. I think
That's
it's a good
fine.
pick.
That's
Very
fine. That's
much.
a damn good album.
Tyler took opening gifts, Christmas lights, seeing the family, going on vacation / having time off from work, and Christmas dinner.
Have fun with this graphic, George.
Yeah, his
Yeah, this is gonna be miserable. George, myself, movies and stuff 14. Follow me on TikTok.
They already win.
Yeah.
We got Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," Die Hard, NBA Christmas, the nativity scene, and Christmas cookies. And Seth took a Christmas tree, Home Alone, snow, an advent calendar, and Home Alone 2.
I forgot he drafted Home Alone 1 also. So that's even
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's
He's got
very
the
Seth.
2 Home Alones.
I love
I
it.
honestly, I don't even know of any honorable mentions.
I have a couple
still-
written
I'm
down.
surprised no one took Jesus Christ.
That's fair play.
Turkey. Turkey. Well,
Yeah.
Tyler took Christmas dinner, so I
Maybe
would.
a wreath. A wreath, you know, on the doors.
Wreaths are good. Wreaths are good.
A wreath would have been great.
I had Secret Santa. Those are always pretty fun.
Secret Santa would have been great.
Candy cane.
Yeah, I candy canes.
I would
on
take
mine.
it. I would take it, especially after Violent Night, where David
Chris-
Harbour stabbed someone with it.
You know, just a parallel for Thanksgiving is Christmas episodes of TV shows.
Of course.
Reindeers.
In my back,
Reindeers, good pick.
I froze for a sec.
Oh, I thought you were just
no.
being silent during honorable
Yeah,
mentions.
it's-
What honorable
no,
mentions do you have?
I have a bunch, and I couldn't really hear if you guys said these.
It's okay. Let's hear him,
Um,
Cameron.
So once Seth picked Christmas tree, I didn't pick this because I didn't know if it doesn't count. But like cutting down the Christmas tree, you know, going to a tree farm and cutting it down.
I've
It's a
never
fun
had a real
activity.
one ever in my life.
Yeah, we got that fake.
I-
They're too messy, man. Too messy.
My family is a fake family, but like me and Emma, we go and get a Christmas tree, so that's fun.
That
It's
could
a
be
new
taken.
thing.
That could be taken so out of context.
Family.
Yeah, my family's
Truman
fake as
Show.
fuck.
But also, you know, decorating cookies in gingerbread houses. You kind of got that, George. Taking photos with Santa, always a classic.
Mall Santa.
Did you
That
take
was-
your
Yeah.
kid this year, or is it too young?
No, too young. Wouldn't remember it. Would be a mess for us. Not worth it. And then, do you guys get like Christmas pajamas? I feel like Christmas pajamas are kind
I
of
did
a
this
staple.
year. They're
Yeah,
fun.
I did when I
love-
did when I was like 6, but I can't.
we did Christmas cards too. I feel like that
Christmas
should've been,
cards.
Christmas cards. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that not get drafted?
I don't
You
know.
all are getting a Christmas card, and let me just say, Seth, you are never getting sent anything.
Why,
ever again.
bro? Why would you send me? I said to Anna, I was like, he's best not be sending, so that'll cost him a fortune.
Yeah,
You don't need
it
to
does.
send me a
apparently.
text. Just send me a text.
Yeah. I
I-
want
I-
you to know there's nothing on my refrigerator right now in my new apartment. The first thing that I magnet up is going to be your Christmas card, which
Perfect.
better be just a picture of your baby. I don't want to see you on that Christmas card.
You might be in luck.
I'll
But
put it next to my bed. for you.
but
I'll put it
yeah,
on
no,
there.
I didn't realize how much it would be to send something
How,
to the
how
UK.
much was it?
Don't worry about it. Well, don't worry about it. It's not
I said
For
worth
just a
Brought up,
letter, for
but-
just like an envelope with letters. Is
You
that
know, there might
expensive?
be
He is
some
going
goodies
across
with
the
it.
Atlantic.
Oh, okay. There you go. That makes sense then. That's
There
awesome,
might be a
though. I'm
goodie with
excited.
it, but yeah,
if
no,
it's
it was
a box.
expensive, and I was like, but I was in the moment, you know, so I wasn't gonna say like, "Fuck it, Seth's not getting this card."
Yeah, but I wouldn't have.
I
would
know,
preferred
I
you
know,
not
I know.
to get me anything.
Well, that's rude. That's rude. Be happy you're getting something.
You
Steph.
send me like an e-letter or something. Send me an
Also,
email.
I'm kind of at this point, I guess I'm kind of hoping it gets returned, so maybe I get my money back then, since you're being so ungrateful.
No, I will be extremely grateful. It will be going
Yeah,
into my
being
bed.
a real Scrooge right now.
Can I take Seth's gift? I want 2 of them. I want
Sure.
one. I want
If
one
it-
Cam Christmas card in
it's-
my
it's-
kitchen.
It's
then
entirely possible. It's entirely possible I told Seth the wrong, or like I gave the person the wrong address because of how
why is my address
outrageous.
weird?
It was a
What's yours?
that was
I
a real
forget.
address.
I'm not gonna read your address, obviously.
No,
but,
I
like,
just meant what's your format? Because mine was like
ours is like street,
Street number,
city,
street.
yeah, street, city, zip code, city, state, zip code. I think.
Mad easy.
what I gave.
Yeah, but yours just sounds.
No, but
Oh,
yours
no,
looked
I didn't
weird,
give
man.
mine in order. I just said my postcode, my city, and my apartment number.
That's bananas.
That's absolutely. There's no way you're getting this package now.
Okay,
Remember last week when
all right.
Seth got all mad about the top 10 in order? Now I'm going to start telling you got to send your address in order.
did you see? Right, in fact, that was the stupidest thing I've ever got criticism for on this podcast. Do I have to give the films in order?
Of course.
That is the word. And then you got Cam over here asking if you can give individual films in the draft. Oh, I fucking hate you, honestly.
All right.
Someone backed me up on that as well. Just
Okay.
wanted to get that out there.
Move on.
I'm gonna start giving my address in the most egregious order possible.
I'm not gonna lie to you all. That is actually how we write our addresses. I just checked.
Oh, sure. All right.
So technically,
we got news. We got honestly, this was kind of a light week in news. We got a couple of nerd news, but let's run through what I think is the biggest news of the week, and that's the Oscar shortlist. So for those of you who didn't see the Oscars, every year before they release their general nominations, they release a what they call a shortlist. So take like best cinematography, they released a list of 20 movies that are going to be up for consideration for the nomination. So they released their shortlist for a bunch of categories, including visual effects, documentary short, original score, I believe hair and makeup.
Makeup, yeah. Did production design, was that one yet?
I don't think production design, international film was one of them. There's some big news stories, and we'll just run through, I think, the ones that
egregious.
Bothered us the most. So the biggest one, and obviously it's all subjective, so this is the biggest one personally for me, and that's the Batman and Decision to Leave did not get a consideration for original score. Then we also have Everything Everywhere All at Once, only got consideration for 2 out of the 10 and did not get visual effects.
That's crazy.
Which is wild. Nope didn't get best sound. RRR didn't get best international film.
They didn't submit it, did they?
Which
No,
makes
they didn't submit it.
So I'm going to be honest with you, for everyone listening, I don't know how this works. All I know is that I guess the country of India or the Indian Film Institute will submit a
individual
film to be considered for the Oscars, and RRR was not their selection. It was another film whose name is slipping my mind right now.
The Cello Show.
What is it called?
The Cello Show is one that India submitted.
Yeah.
You're really into the Indian cinema now. You're the guy.
Well, and one thing that's interesting is because RRR didn't get submitted for Best International Feature, but because there's like Telugu, there's Tamil, there's different like sects of Indian cinema, and they all kind of don't like each other is what I'm realizing. Like there's like people who are not in the RRR sect say it's like the worst movie ever made, and then same thing with like, so it's kind of weird. And I think it's a lot of political stuff that goes into what they submit.
I've heard a lot of Indian people, I've seen a lot of Indian people on Twitter say that RRR, whatever it is kind of like more built for a Western audience, I guess. And a lot of them
worked
don't
with
like
us. Yeah.
Exactly. Crazy. Like, God forbid we like film. Anyways, RRR also didn't get, obviously, original score or visual effects nomination. And then Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio and Mad God, which is a little bit more understandable. It's a very niche film, but both of those films didn't get visual effects.
Does Mad God not count because it was in film festivals in 2021? Does that not count for 2021?
No, I think the Oscars considers when they get the wide release. Not
okay. I didn't know it was. Okay, fair enough.
I think you're right.
So though that's pretty much it. I'm not going to run through every single shortlist. 2 things to note. All Quiet on the Western Front and Black Panther Wakanda Forever did get on every single shortlist that they were eligible for, and they were the only 2 films that did obtain that credit.
Not like Best Picture though. For
no, just the ones that have been
of the 10 that were released. I believe All Quiet on the Western Front was eligible for like 6 or 7, and they got all 6 or 7. Same thing with Wakanda Forever.
Which that makes it even weirder for me because like the Batman getting snubbed for original score is probably the one that most people are in uproar about, and like I want to write it off as like, oh, maybe it's Academy not respecting comic book movies, but then Black Panther Wakanda Forever made every single other short list, so it's like, I don't know, there wasn't like the comic book movie slant against it. I think they just didn't fuck with Michael Giacchino, I guess.
Yeah.
If the Batman didn't get a nomination for the score, I think that would still be egregious. But not even being on the shortlist is
nuts.
Insane to me.
Yeah. As like a guy like Tyler, you said you love the Oscar. I couldn't. I'm going to start caring for the Oscars.
I've never cared until this year.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like now that I've started I've always cared about movies, but I can't say I've ever watched the Oscars other than
I can't name winners and stuff like that.
No, neither. And so I didn't know like these shortlists were first even announced, and then I was like, can the Batman still win if it's not on the? Obviously not. This is probably a stupid question, but I was just genuinely confused about what these shortlists were because I've never seen them. Now that I have like notifications on for like big things like this, so stupid Oscars, boo you.
I also just think. Well, 2 things. One, I think the Batman not getting on the shortlist for original score removes it from every other category. I think that is the one category it had the best shot of getting a nomination at. I think it should be nominated for cinematography. It's not going to be.
I think it. Wait, we've not got the cinematography one.
No, it did. That one didn't drop.
Oh, okay, I think it will get cinematography. I think that's got more of a chance, you know.
I don't know. I think
better.
Because here's my logic. I don't think they're going to push 2 comic book movies through, and I think if they push one, it's going to be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And we won't get into that. For Wakanda Forever is going to get a nomination in every single category it's eligible for.
It won't get Best Picture.
Yes, it will.
Really?
There is no doubt in my mind it gets Best Picture.
The original Black Panther got Best Picture nominated.
There is absolutely no doubt in my mind it gets Best Picture.
I don't know. It surprises me. I think Batman could get cinematography. I would say, or score. They'd be my 2 front runners. I think cinematography is one of the. I think it was in my top 5. Batman.
How many get nominated for Best Picture?
10.
Oh, I'd nominate it, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'd nominate the Batman, both Black Panther and.
Oh no, I'd nominate Batman. If it was 10, Batman, but not Wakanda Forever.
But no, I'd nominate both, is what I'm saying. If it was
I also
10.
just why I would love to know the logic behind dropping these short. Like, why are we dropping a list of nominations for the list of nominate? It just doesn't make sense.
Is it just added hype, added viewing numbers?
The only thing I can think of is like, okay, you know, the Batman didn't get nominated for original score, Batman production. It'll at least give them a chance to stop wasting their money in their like marketing campaign and promotional campaign and all those for your consideration campaigns they run.
Yeah,
but
like I saw a trailer for Babylon on Twitter that people were quote tweeting saying like Babylon making their Oscars push because like the whole thing was like experience the sound of Babylon, and it's like clearly they're like doing what you're saying, like they're like, oh, they're on the short list for best sound, let's go, let's keep pushing that for the Oscars.
Yes, it's very interesting. I'm curious to see when the remaining short lists come out. Obviously we still got the big ones left of the big 6: picture, actor, actress, supporting.
Do we have a date for any of these, or is it just like
I didn't even know this shortlist campaign was dropping. I just happened to reload Twitter at the exact time that someone had posted or retweeted the Batman news, and I was like, well, that's fucking stupid. Next, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I put it in the rundown just because we had mentioned it in our group chat that so that 90s show is coming out, which is essentially a 20-year delayed sequel off of that 70s show, a show that I think all 4 of us, or at least the one of the
I'm watching it right now.
It's a great show. The reason why I want to talk about it is because I've been ragging on this show, that 90s show, for quite some time. I think it's stupid. I had no idea that Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, and the original cast was returning. So we saw that
obviously
news.
Not Hyde. Fuck that guy.
Obviously.
But, yeah.
We're not going to talk about that.
No, I'm just saying, obviously he's not coming back.
I know. But yeah, it's very interesting.
I didn't.
What?
I just had no idea they were coming back.
I had zero clue they were coming back, which, and I'm going to be honest, it doesn't increase my anticipation of this show. I'm still not going to watch it. And I think, Cam, you had mentioned How I Met Your Father, like, does generally get some.
I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's just like I'm not going to watch it because of
I don't know if I've watched any TV show reboots.
Is this a sitcom, or is it like
full? So there's that 90s show coming out. There's How I Met Your Father. There's not a Friends reboot. There's not a Parks and Rec. Was there? I guess like Abbott Elementary is kind of like an Office reboot.
Technically,
which I've seen a couple episodes. It's not, but it's
no.
not.
I'm saying there's from Friends. There's a show with Joey Tribbiani.
What was that called?
I know about called Joey.
I know about Joey.
Yeah.
That was not like a reboot. That was like right after Friends ended. That was like a sequel show.
A sequel for
awful.
Was it bad?
Okay. Yeah.
I've seen Abbott Elementary. It's not, like I said, it's not a reboot. It's just a Office like situational comedy, like in the workplace, So that's why I thought of it. I don't think there are any other reboots that I can think of. I haven't seen them though, if there are.
Yeah, those aren't things I care to say. Everyone keeps saying, I'll say this time and again, I think The Office is the best sitcom ever made. If they do a reunion season, I'm not watching it. Stop. The Office.
Are they going to?
Oh, I don't know. But
did you guys watch the Friends thing?
Yeah, I watched the Friends thing.
I watched it.
It was okay. I'll watch one of those for The Office, but like if they were to have made a season 11 of Friends like 20 years later, exploring like their life as like parents, I wouldn't watch it. There's no shot.
You wouldn't.
Oh,
Really?
like Full House.
No
We
way.
didn't talk about that for
You-
me.
Oh, yeah,
Fuller
Full
House.
House.
Didn't watch that.
Didn't
yeah.
watch a single episode of Full House.
don't know
I just
what that
couldn't care less. We'll move on. Everyone has seen that video of Tom Cruise being an absolute psychopath. I'm still slowly catching up to Mission Impossible, and by slowly I mean I watched the first 2 in May, and I haven't seen a movie since.
I've watched one. I've watched the first one.
So everyone
It's so
can-
sad because that for me, like, they don't start great. I think Mission Impossible, the first one's fine. It's pretty good, actually.
It's okay.
And then like 2 through 5 are just like they're just there, kind of.
Do you have to watch them? Are they like? Do you to watch Fallout? Because I kind of want to watch Fallout. That's got
No, you have to watch. Shoot, who's the? Yes, I don't know. They're not like you need to know. Like you get it. It's Tom Cruise.
Is there 7 of them?
He's Ethan on. Yeah, there's 7, right? Or I think maybe. How many Mission Impossibles are there? I'm just.
No, I think
Has,
the 8.
has Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2 been confirmed to be the final 2 of the series?
Yeah.
I hope.
Just so many to watch.
I don't want to catch up to any more. The reason I never watched Mission
Okay.
Impossible 3 is because
There's-
of how bad 2 was.
Sorry,
It's
there's
too-
6.
it's too
There's
bad.
6. I thought there were 7. Yeah, 2 stinks.
What did you
Um,
rate 1, George? I rated 1 like a 3.5.
I gave 1 a 3.5, and I gave 2 a 2.
Oh, I'm not watching.
Actually, I would say there's more good than bad because 2 and 3 stink. Ghost Protocol is very, very good. Rogue Nation is very good, and then Fallout is one of the best action movies of all time. And
big statement.
I think it is.
You have Fallout at 5 out of 5, right? That's on
Mhm.
our ReelTok collection that we all just see.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have to go through. That's not fair.
Yeah, like
For
you're
something
gonna
one
good,
of-
I have to watch 7
I know.
films.
But no, it's 5, 6.
6.
But and you've already seen 1, so 5.
I'm gonna rate Fast and Furious 10 a 5 out of 5 just to make all of you rewatch the series.
No offense, have you not seen all 9?
No, I haven't seen the 9th.
no.
Watch
would I
movies,
do
people. Come on.
We watch good
trash.
movies, bro.
No, it's a franchise. Just
One
watch it.
question, not movie related, but related to Tom Cruise. Have you guys or will you guys ever go skydiving?
I've always
Fuck
said I
no.
wanted to, but it scares me.
There's
Fuck no.
no shot you ever catch me jumping off a plane.
I think I would have done it if I was like 16, but now, no.
I
don't
give myself
think
a
so.
5% chance. But if I had kids, like I don't know. I think at some point you just got to be a responsible human. So if I had a kid, I would not do anything like
Would
that.
I'm
you
not
rather?
going. I'm not
Would you
going
rather
skydiving.
skydive
No.
or bungee jump?
Skydive
I think
for
I'd
me.
rather
Bungee
skydive.
jump. Bungee
No,
jump
because
for
bungee
sure.
jump
Nothing.
looks
Neither.
weird.
Something about
Bungee
bungee
jump
jumping, I just
scary.
don't want to fuck with. I don't know what it is. It's just
Have you seen how they bounce at the bottom and like?
yeah, it just looks like they're yeah.
Either way, a malfunction on either of those, and you're in a minute, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like you're gone. Like
Yeah,
there's
but in skydiving, you'd probably die in the sky. Bungee
What?
jump, you're dying from impact. So you've
Why
got
would you
that.
die in the sky from
Why would you
skydiving?
die
Because,
in
no,
the
no,
sky.
because a lot of people, what will happen is they'll have a heart attack, and because of the air pressure on going down, and they'll have a heart attack. They'll get angry. That's what happens when you jump off things and stuff.
That's gross. You won't catch me doing that. I'll go diving like down below in the water.
Would you cave dive?
No. After seeing the descent, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's a fair
No.
point.
Dude,
I'm
the
not going
craziest
into a
people
cave
are those
again.
videos you see of the people that like not cave diving like underwater, but the caves like where they like go through the smallest holes,
Have you
like
seen that
wiggle
video
through.
that's that big.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, it makes me feel ill.
I
You
would.
guys You guys
Panic
know the
attack.
stat though with skydiving. They say
What?
Don't tell
they
me
say
stuff.
one they say 1 in 5 people don't even make it to the ground. Nothing.
I don't
Nothing.
get it.
I don't even get
That's
it.
That's the Drake and Josh quote that Drake tells him, and he's like, "Where do they go?" You don't remember that at all?
I didn't.
Come
I
on,
didn't, I
man.
didn't catch. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I didn't
That's
catch
fine.
that.
Yeah,
All right.
That had me. That's a good quote. Good Drake and Josh episode.
Moving on to something I genuinely know nothing about, and that's the new Jesse Plemons and Elizabeth Olsen starring Love and Death, which is a miniseries based on a true story of wily Texas housewife Candy, who was accused of the brutal axe murder of her friend Betty Gore in 1980. I feel like Jesse Plemons has been typecast as the weird guy in weird movies, especially after Windfall. He's
Yeah.
just
think he's out.
Someone give me
that weird in Windfall.
Jesse Plemons film. I can't think.
Meth Damon.
I'm thinking of ending things.
Windfall.
I'm
Game
thinking of
Night.
ending things. He's like
He's the weirdest of weird.
I'm thinking of ending things.
It doesn't get weird.
Game Nights, the cop of
Yeah.
Game Night.
Game Night. He's weird.
Wait, I've just remembered the ending of I'm thinking of ending things. Doesn't matter. He is
Yeah.
the weird. I'm thinking at the start when just like a normal. Okay, that's fine.
I think it's so funny that the name of the person that got brutally axe murdered's last name is Gore. You're just asking for it at that point.
Yeah, you're just literally like, come on, do something to me. This is I need to live up to my last name.
Just like, yeah, so this is based on a true story, but someone named Candy axe murdering someone named Gore just sounds like a made up like fable.
That's literally a movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie. This didn't happen. Seth, I think we're the only two that probably care about this next bit of news, and that's Evil Dead Rise, which is the first look of I guess we're calling it a reboot because it's not. I don't think it's a direct sequel to the 2013 Evil Dead. We know the Evil Dead story.
Did you watch the 2013 one? You did,
I
didn't you?
haven't yet. No, I have not.
I think I gave it like 3. It was fine. It wasn't. I thought it would be bad.
That's what everyone says. Everyone says it's not amazing, but you're not going to be disappointed that you watch
I
it.
think you'd enjoy it. Yeah.
Evil Dead Rise. 2 sisters find themselves in a fight for their lives when an ancient book gives birth to bloodthirsty demons that run amok in Los Angeles apartment building. We've seen it. Yeah, we've seen. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it out of respect. I think Sam Raimi is a producer on it.
Okay.
I could be wrong there. But either way.
I'll watch it because the last one didn't disappoint me like I thought it would. But
I swear, when I was going through like my October horror binge, every single night I was like 2 seconds away from clicking play on Evil Dead, the 2013 one, and then I was like, I really just don't want to.
I really don't think you'll hate. I went into that, and sometimes you'll go into really low expectations that will make you feel worse about the film you're watching.
Yeah,
I went into a real low expectation. I still gave it 3, so I actually think it's perfectly fine. I think
I'll enjoy it. Listen, if it scares the shit out of me and it's a little bit gory, I'll have a good time with it. But
it won't scare the shit out of you, but it is a little bit gory. So
that's fine. It's like The Descent. God,
No.
The Descent.
It's fucking not like Descent. That's terrifying.
I want to watch that movie again. The movie was so fucking good. Stephanie Sue, who played Jobu Tupaki in Everything Everywhere All at Once, has been named the New York Times Breakout Movie Star of 2022. I wasn't going to add this bit of news, but then I started thinking between like Austin Butler, Sadie Sink, there's a lot of like, this wasn't an easy award to pick up. I don't know what like the
Jordan,
criteria
I'm telling
are.
You, tonight when you see Babylon, Diego Calva, you'd want him considered too. He's insane, dude.
What is the criteria? Because I didn't realize she was in her 30s. I think.
Yeah,
I thought she was young.
Really?
I don't know. Like Austin Butler was probably up for consideration, even though technically he's been in the scene forever. But like this was his, like, this was like his big role to like show the world what he was capable of. Same thing with Stephanie Sue and Everything Everywhere at Once. I think it was just she may have been on the scene forever. She's obviously in her 30s, but like this was the role that put her in the spotlight. She's most likely going to be an Oscar-nominated actress in 2 months.
She better be an Oscar winner.
Yeah, she better be in my mind. Yes.
Okay, I won't ask.
She better be an Oscar. What?
No, because I don't want to give it away.
Oh, okay, fair. But yeah, when like you just look at like my ranking for 2022, and like there's so many fantastic movies that were just led by, I don't want to say no name, but just people that haven't had a chance to break out. On the count of 3, Christopher Abbott. Even the Batman, I would say Zoe Kravitz. That was like her big breakout role, even though she's been in other shit. I mean, she was in Mad Max Fury Road, but like she didn't do much.
She
was in Kimmy, but like she was
not this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kimmy stinks.
Kimmy does stink. The way I see a breakout role is if after this role do you become a household name.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened with
It's
Zoe
a difficult criteria to answer, isn't it?
Maybe not a household name, but
I forgot she was in First Class too.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
And then I'm hosting this episode, so we're going to talk about Zack Snyder whenever I get the chance, because he did drop a couple of production images from his new film Rebel Moon, which was supposed to be based in the Star Wars universe. Cam, I don't know if you know this, so I'm sure you're happy that Zack Snyder is no longer attached to the Star Wars universe. But Rebel Moon was originally going to be in the Star Wars universe. A peaceful colony on the edge of the galaxy is threatened by the armies of a tyrannical region named Belisarius. The desperate civilians dispatch a young woman who has a mysterious past to seek out warriors from a nearby planet to help them challenge the regent. Anthony Hopkins is in this, and I don't know if you guys saw that original picture of Anthony Hopkins looking like an absolute demon, whatever his character is. I'm blanking on the name of his character, but he looks cracked. He looks sick. It's Zack Snyder. I love him. I know he's Cam's favorite filmmaker of all time, so I'm sure Cam is excited for this as well.
Can't wait. Sorry, I was looking up Zoe Kravitz roles. She was also in Fantastic Beasts. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh yeah, she was.
I wasn't paying attention. Yeah.
No, it's
I only think of her as Catwoman now. So
yeah, that's exactly.
I mean, that's fair.
I can't think of any other roles, so
that's fine. Continue. Sorry.
And then lastly,
go Zack Snyder. Woohoo!
Well, yeah. So Pixar or Disney dropped one of those, long TV spots, and they just showed a couple of clips of a few things. One of them was their new, their first ever Pixar's first ever full-blown television show, Win or Lose, which we don't have a lot of information on. We don't have a lot of, images or just footage. But it is interesting to see Pixar, because most of the time it's either at least a full-length movie or a short here and there. So it's going to be interesting to see them dip their toes into an actual television show. Cam, I know you are, that you're the Disney Pixar guy around here. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm excited. I don't know, man. I love Pixar to death, and I love everything they drop. I feel like a lot of things are trying to get into the series world right now, and I'm not as big of a series guy as I am a movie guy. I'll probably watch it. Sure. Yeah.
Strange World wasn't Pixar, was it? That's not Pixar.
Disney.
Oh, it's Disney. Okay, right, cool.
No. Disney is Pixar, but Pixar is
not. Yeah. Cool.
Wait, no. Pixar is Disney.
Pixar is Disney.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you. But like I said, I'm not as big of a series guy, so I'm not like super pumped for this. But I don't know. It would probably be good. Probably make me cry at some point or another. Why not?
I'm curious to see how they're obviously very top tier filmmaking in the movies, and that's not me being sarcastic. That's just a genuine fact. Translates into a television show.
Yeah, there was also an HBO Max sizzle reel that they released that had like I'm going to find it from the ReelTok Twitter.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it had like, oh god, I can't even find it. Whatever the fuck HBO Max is making these days. Yeah, I don't know. They had a sizzle reel as well, and I saw a lot of people were excited about things that they're making, but who cares?
All right, moving on to nerd news. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting sick and tired of just talking about the DCU every single fucking episode.
I am so.
I was gonna bring that up, dude. Yeah,
it's my favorite. I love it.
I'm just getting so pissed. Every single episode, I feel like we're either saying the name of The Rock or Walter Amada or Henry Cavill. It's starting to bother me. Obviously, the big news from the last couple of days is that The Rock will not be returning as Black Adam for the foreseeable future. Fuck him. Black Adam,
you're mad at him.
I don't care who I'm mad at. I'm mad at everyone. It took 15 years to make a colossal piece of horse shit. All of you DCU meat riders. Black Adam sucks. It sucks. A lot of you reply to my tweets.
I'm going back to this review.
A lot of you reply to my. I'm lowering it to a half.
I loaded to it too.
I'm lowering it to a half a star right after we're done recording. It's such a bad movie. I'm genuinely kind of happy to see him just gone. See ya, deuces, fuck you. Bringing back Henry Cavill, literally just as a promotional tool. The Rock had no intention of ever bringing Henry Cavill back to genuinely be in more movies. He just used him as a promotional tool. Fuck him. I don't care. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I never liked The Rock to begin with. So I'm not as passionate as you, but I'm not going to miss him.
I'm not going to miss him at all.
I didn't hate Black Adam as much as you, but
no, I don't think. I think you're remembering Black Adam wrong. It was not a bad. It was not a good.
I think it gets
not
worse.
a good movie.
No, the more you think about it, the worse
it gets worse and worse.
And yeah, no,
better than Thor: Love and
Thunder. Well, I think I'll drop it as well too. I don't argue with that, but even then, it's like that's still not the worst thing.
Like a 4 out of 10.
Go watch. It's not a Green Lantern or a Transformers the last night, but whatever. It's not a good movie. I'm not gonna like defend it to my death. Also, I say it all the time. The Rock is just just a liar in plenty of things. The fucking Snickers thing that he pulled the other day that I texted you guys about. He's simply a liar. He promotes himself to make himself seem like this interesting person. But that being said, you're like mad at him because he like said he was going to change the DC EU. I don't think this was his call to get kicked out. You know, I'm sure he would have came back if they wanted him. I'm sure James Gunn and Peter Safran were just like, go on your way, sir. We'll maybe give you a call later this decade, but probably not. So I'm not like mad at him for this. I just think it's very funny that he's been kicked out. Also, I love the DC fall that's happening, right? Like the DC like changes. I love it. It's so good.
I mean, listen, I'm happy. I'm happy. Like we said, I think I said this exact same thing in last week's episode. 3 weeks ago, they had 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out. They had no idea what they wanted to do. They're fully through the door. They're sending it. They're saying, fuck everything we've had. We need to restart. And I'm sad again to see everyone go, but I'm happy that they just finally found a direction. Yeah. Let's move on to more DC news. This isn't even news. It's just it was just news that the Flash trailer will be releasing during the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys saw, but people have seen the Flash. And early reactions are overwhelmingly positive. I saw a tweet say early reactions to a comic book movie haven't been this strong since Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. I don't buy it for a second.
Who's the Flash?
Ezra Miller's character, the fast dude, red suit.
No, I know. Do they play the Flash?
Yeah, yeah. Dude.
Oh, I forgot. You haven't seen them, but yes, they've been in.
Justice
League.
I thought they got kicked from playing it.
Yes, but they're going to, but the movie's already been filmed.
No, this is what I'm saying. I thought the Flash was going to get postponed and they were reshooting or something like that.
It's been postponed 45 times. They can't do it again. They just got to release the damn thing.
Just to clarify,
I think what they're doing.
Ezra Miller played the Flash. I'm not that behind.
Okay.
Yeah, he runs very fast.
I think they've pushed it off.
Describing the character.
I think they've pushed it off far enough that they can change the ending to reset everything, and that's what they're going to use it for.
I think that's.
But also, still, Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2 come out after it, right?
Yeah, I just don't understand that.
I don't know the order of. No, Shazam comes first because we've already gotten like 2 trailers for that.
I think Aquaman's the last one of the old.
Aquaman's
DCU
next Christmas.
Yeah. Who cares, man?
Yeah, it's this. Like I need to know what the timeline looks like. I'm positive the Flash is going to clean that up. And again, regardless of what we think of Ezra Miller, obviously they're a bad person. They should never play the Flash again after this movie. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not excited for this movie.
I hope it's a good movie.
I hope it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely, if this movie genuinely didn't have the impact on the DCU that I think it's going to have, I think they would have scrapped it completely. I think that HBO would have just absolutely, or Warner Brothers would have eaten the cash they dropped to make this movie because of what Ezra Miller has done. But I think they're able to kind of play it towards, okay, this movie's going to reset the DCU. Ezra Miller's going to be gone after this movie. Let's just drop it. I can't imagine it's going to do well on the box office because no one's going to go want to watch Ezra Miller. So they're going to eat any losses they take and just pray to God that it does a good enough job at resetting the DCU and just hopefully moves us forward into decent territory.
Yeah. It's maddening, man, that this is the first Flash movie that we're getting. Like, it's one of those things where, like, Spider-Man has 8 movies, 9 if you count Into the Spider-Verse. It is a Spider-Man movie, but it's not live action. But like 9 Spider-Man movies. How do you not have a single Flash?
That surprises me. I thought there was one.
There's even a Green Lantern movie. Like, people are mad that there's not been a Green Lantern movie recently, which again there should be. And
I'm just stressing we do mean live action. We know that there are.
Yes, thank you. There are plenty of animated movies.
Yes, we just mean live action.
That's why I guess you can't. I guess if you want to count like animated Spider-Mans, maybe take out Into the Spider-Verse, even though that's just like leaps and bounds better than everything. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Beside the point. It's just maddening that we don't have one yet.
It is infuriating. I wish Zack Snyder continued his vision. Anyways, we got MCU news. Every news that dropped this week is just geared towards pissing off George. Charlie,
I like as soon as I tweeted this news, George, I like heard you shit your pants. Like as soon as I tweeted this, George pooped his pants. Man.
Charlie Cox says Daredevil will not be as gory as the Netflix show and will appeal to all audiences. I will say the Netflix show was never that gory. It was never a gory show, but the part that gets me is will appeal to all audiences.
He said it'll still be as dark.
It won't. They said the same thing about Moon Knight and ended up being a trash cringe fest of bad dialogue.
No, they did, but they didn't have anything to compare it to. Also, another thing is like Daredevil is highly regarded as one of the best like comic book shows. Whether you think it's like one of the best shows, I think it's very great. I think it is one of the best shows. I don't love season 2 all that much, but that's just beside a different conversation to be had.
Yeah, it's very high on my top 10 list of greatest topic. That's why it's. I'm not being time. No, of comic book shows. Comic book shows. I'm not being like a dick towards the MCU just to be a dick. I'm being a dick because I'm very passionate about Charlie Cox playing this character, and I just don't want to see him. Obviously,
would you rather him not come back at all? Be like honestly,
no. I would rather him come back.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean I can't hope he doesn't get fucked up, which he's going to. Why? Why did he do the walk of shame in She-Hulk?
Man, he had another quote today that's just going to be, I was going to tweet about it, but he said like he wants She-Hulk in Daredevil. And it's one of those things where he said She-Hulk is the most fun he's had playing this character. And
I don't buy that.
It's gonna piss people off so much.
I don't believe
whether it's true or not, even if he had a great time doing it, it's gonna make people so mad. And just let the actor be happy. Just let the actor enjoy what they want.
I hope he's happy. I hope he's happy. I just hope Daredevil Born Again doesn't fucking suck. Okay.
What I will say, it could be like a very good show. Like even Andor, it could be as dark as like it should just look at Andor and like do that, because Andor is not bloody. It was not like gross or gruesome, but it was dark in the sense that it
felt real. Yeah, it felt real.
Just look at that and do that. It's not going to be as good as Daredevil, the original Netflix show. It's going to be basically impossible to get as good as that. But I don't know. I'm still giving it a chance. Also, Raiders of the Lost Pod guys, they replied to your tweet saying they tried to warn people about
Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3. Deadpool 3, they just came out and said it's going to be just as gruesome as the last two. I love it. I love the Raiders guys. I still have faith in them. You know, I'm fucking nuts in the brain. Who knows?
Listen, I'm happy one of us has faith in them.
Yeah.
We need this dichotomy to make the podcast interesting. It would be so boring if we both sat here and said, "Oh, I can't wait."
Yeah. Until we get one of these projects, and I'm waiting till Daredevil and Deadpool 3, because those are the projects that actually like you expect to be darker. Even if they're like, until we get them, I'm not gonna like just say fuck it. I don't like. I'm losing faith. You know.
Completely agree. Seth, any thoughts, Seth, on the MCU?
I do not care.
Tyler, do you have any thoughts here?
None.
All right, we'll move on. The Across the Spider-Verse poster dropped this week.
And 3 of them.
Yeah. Wait. What?
Yeah, so they had the US poster, and then the overseas, like I think Asia poster, and then there was one other poster that was even wider.
Right. So it was essentially the same poster, just larger with more characters. I think it's hysterical that all of us rag on the floating head posters, but I love this poster.
I love this one, man.
I ragged on it. I kept sanity. Everyone lost their minds over such a mid-post.
It makes sense for how big of a movie this is going to be. This is what Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be. Like, this is going to be 200 different Spider-Man, you know?
Which I'm excited. It makes sense. And then the biggest reveal was the Spectacular Spider-Man was in the bottom right corner. I don't know if you guys ever watched that animated series. Again, it's very high on, or I wouldn't say very high, but it's in my most likely top 10 comic book shows of all time. And then a lot of people are theorizing that one of the animated Spider-Man characters looks like Tom Holland's Homecoming suit.
I've also seen that with Garfield.
I've also seen it with Garfield, yeah. So a lot of people are speculating maybe they're going to come for a quick voice cameo. I don't think so, but it would be cool. Not much. Yeah, go for it.
The funny thing is, you don't even need their voice. Like, you know, you saw whatever they were in, where there were like 30, 80 different Spider-Man. You just throw them in the background. You don't even need their voice, really. You know,
just make it look like that.
Yeah, exactly. You own the rights. Just animate it. Like,
I saw the funniest. Dennis doesn't really have to do with Across the Spider-Verse, but I saw the funniest tweet. It was the portal scene in No Way Home where Andrew Garfield is like in the alley, and someone replied to that basically saying, "I knew once I saw that shoulder to waist ratio that was Andrew Garfield's
Yeah,
Spider-Man."
yeah.
I was like, "That's so fucking funny."
That was awesome.
Again, we mentioned earlier Disney did drop that compilation TV spot. We got a couple of first looks at a few things. One being Loki season 2, one being Peter Pan and Wendy, and then we also got a first look at the Ahsoka series. Two things that I'm very excited for. One thing that I've never really personally cared for, Peter Pan and Wendy, that story. I'm sure it's going to be great. Loki season 2 is one of my most anticipated future MCU projects, just because I don't think I'm in the minority in saying it's the best MCU show. I think I think a lot of people could agree there.
I'm in the minority. I think it's like as good as like, I think it's as good as like Daredevil, honestly. Like, I think you disagree, but we both think it's number one.
I disagree, but I don't think like that's an egregious thing to say. If you were to said like Moon Knight is as good as Daredevil, I would have left the podcast. But I think Loki is a very quality show. I think it expands on the multiverse world building of the MCU very well. I like the character of Sylvie, and then I love that like final introduction of Kang. I think that just builds towards Ant-Man and the Wasp really well. So there's a lot to look.
You just spoiled it for me.
You're not gonna watch it, bro.
I said if I was gonna watch an MCU show, which I will, it would be Loki.
All right. Well, it didn't.
I like Loki, or WandaVision.
Yeah.
I'll watch Loki. I will watch Loki. I like Tom Hiddleston. I really like his character. So
I want you to watch What If, honestly. I'm
not watching anything that's not a lot of WandaVision. No, I'm right.
Fine. Fair. Does anyone have any thoughts?
Who has What If got in it?
No, What If is the
no one but
animated
everyone.
series. Yeah, everyone basically.
Oh, it's animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, he hates animated. That's a weird
You're
recommendation.
such a.
That's a lie. I lie.
Oh my
I love
God.
animated films.
They should change the
my
name
God.
to What If We Made a Mid-Show.
I bet if Hayao Miyazaki directed one of those episodes, Seth would call it the greatest thing of all time.
Oh yeah.
No, you would.
I would. You're absolutely right.
You're probably right.
He already does.
Does anyone have any thoughts on Peter Pan and Wendy or Ahsoka? There's just not
Ahsoka.
Yeah, I'm
You're
as
the one
excited.
with the weird head thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I'm one of the biggest defenders of the Clone Wars animated series, and I think Ahsoka is truly one of the best characters in all of Star Wars, not even just the Clone Wars animated series. There's just
Rebels as well.
Yeah, true.
It's like it's pulling off of Rebels.
Yeah, but we just don't know enough for me to genuinely sit here and be like, I'm so excited for this. I'm excited, but I just need to know more. Tyler, it seems like you're getting ready to say something, or no?
No, well, the only thing, like, Ahsoka doesn't, I'm not going to watch that. I don't care. Loki, though, the one thing funny is, like, I saw so many tweets that were, like, the screenshots of the first look of Loki season 2, and they're all like, if you put a gun to my head and said, tell me if this is season 1 or season 2, I'd never, like, the first look just basically just, like, I saw him, like, that just looks like season 1.
Have you seen Loki?
Yeah.
I mean, I expect it to be like, cause I'm assuming season 2 is going to end off immediately. Well, season 2 is going to start immediately where season 1 ended off.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I mean,
second
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny. Like, first look at Loki season 2, I'm like, this is just.
It's just Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. But no, Seth, I thought of it very highly. I rate WandaVision higher, but I enjoyed Loki. I think I gave it like a 7.9 out of 10 or something.
If WandaVision didn't rush the final 2 episodes as much as I personally think they did, I think it would have easily cleared Loki. But just the finale, they
are the only like production of anything that I give COVID bias to.
That's fair. No, I'm fine with that. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think they deserve the benefit of the doubt.
They hit fuck it, make something button.
Literally. And then lastly, to all of my Invincible fans, I consider it one of the 3 greatest comic book movie seasons shows ever. We finally
better than The Boys.
Not better than The Boys, but number 2 to The Boys. We finally have confirmation that season 2 is going to be releasing in 2023, and that production will most likely be starting in January or February, I believe. As I said, this is one of the greatest comic book shows ever. That season 1 was beautiful. They ended episode 1 with the biggest bang I've ever seen, and then they just continued it from there. And then that fucking last episode was so brutal. It was so gruesome. It was so beautiful. The voice acting is exceptional. J.K. Simmons is brilliant. What's her name in Grey's Anatomy? Oh my goodness.
Gillian Jacobs.
Not Michelle Yeoh.
No, who am I thinking of? It's Sandra Oh. Sorry.
Sandra Oh.
Yeah.
And then Stephen Yeun,
I love Grey's
of course. So I'm as excited could be. I've been needing this show since the second I finished watching episode 8 or 9 or whatever the last episode of season 1 is. Seth, you got a weird look on your face. Are you in distaste of Invincible?
I've never heard of this in my life.
Well, watch it because it's one of the greatest.
Dude,
this
is a animated show you would like, Seth.
It is.
What if I told you they show blood?
A lot of blood.
Is it? How long are the episodes?
An
45
hour.
to an hour.
Yeah, it's 42. It's like if it were an hour.
It's got good reviews. I've never heard of it.
It's got great reviews.
Great cast.
It is a phenomenal show.
JK, Seth Rogen, interesting.
This is not even me saying like comic book. This is not even my comic book bias, which obviously I have, but it's genuinely like one of the best seasons of television ever.
Is it like an animated The Boys kind of thing?
Yes. It's as gruesome as The Boys. If
I'm going to watch something first, it'd be The Boys because I do actually kind of want to watch that.
It is phenomenal. We'll wrap up our new nerd news there with me begging Seth to watch season 1 of Invincible. We're going to move along. So as we mentioned earlier in the episode, we have our ReelTok Awards. This is something we've kind of wanted to do for a while. We have our amazing friend Tyler to credit for how our system is going to work. So I'm just going to throw it over to Tyler, explain the ReelTok Awards, explain the nominations, explain how everyone who's listening is going to be able to get involved in selecting our winners. Go for it, Tyler.
Yeah, so we came up with categories. I don't have the number on the top of my head, but probably about like 15 categories here of stuff that's, your staples, best picture, best director, best actor that you'll see in the Oscars, but also stuff that we added in that aren't in the Oscars that we think would be fun categories as well. And what I did the other day is I sent out a list of all of our awards to these 3 gentlemen here, as well as I filled it out myself. And I said, rank your top 5. So you're giving 5 points to your number 1 in that category, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Compiled everyone's results because obviously we had a lot that overlapped, a lot that didn't. Added them all up and took the aggregate of for each category, and you'll hear what these nominees are when I go through them, of anywhere from about 5 to 8 in each category of what our official nominees are. So we got probably like 10-ish in each category, but we narrowed it down to like 5 to 8 range based on what got the most votes from us. And those will be our official ballot nominees that we're recording this on a Friday, but we're going to start pushing these out on Monday on Twitter, and we'll be mentioning it on all social medias for you to be able to go on a Google form and vote for who you want the winners in each category to be, and based on what nominees we've come up with, which I'm about to reveal. And the way the voting is going to work for who's going to actually win the award is that it's going to be 20% between us 4 and then the fans. So like we'll add up the votes from 20% of George's input, mine, Cam, and Seth's input, and then the fans will have equal like 20% input into what the actual award is going to be given to for these nominees. So that's kind of my explanation of how it went. I think we have some really solid nominees here for all these awards. And we'll see how much time, because like I said, I don't have much family stuff I'm doing this weekend, so we'll see how carried away I get this weekend with Photoshop. I might make some graphics that have like the nominees on there, but we'll post on social medias or something. But what you can 100% expect is on Twitter, and then we'll be mentioning it everywhere, is we'll be posting a link to the Google form that you all can have your input in as listeners of the ReelTok podcast to influence who's going to win these awards. So I'm going to list them off now. And what I did basically is I narrowed it down based on what our actual nominees are. So I'll tell you who the honorable mentions are that were left off. So kind of like our version of the Oscars shortlist. But the way I'm reading these off for each award category is in alphabetical order. This is not in order of how much votes each got, because I don't want to influence you by saying like, oh, our most voted by us for best director is this. Like, it's just the nominees are in alphabetical order, so don't read too much into the order I list them off.
And quickly,
yes,
this is a ReelTok social media plug. So if you don't follow us on all of our socials, that's where we're going to post all of these links for you guys to be able to go and vote yourselves. Mm-hmm. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us. ReelTok podcast.
We hit 1,000 on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Thank you.
So make sure you go follow us on all those. And like I said, we'll be posting these right when the episode drops on Monday. The Google form will be set up. And the next week, we will be announcing the awards. So We haven't really exactly discussed this, but probably we'll be filming ours next weekend. So the form will be available from like Monday of when you're listening to this until like probably Friday. You'll have times to go in and submit your votes to the Google form to be included. Are we ready to hear the nominees?
We haven't heard them either.
We stressed this earlier, but this was hard. Like it was so hard, man.
Harder than I thought it would be.
Very
I'm
hard.
excited to hear the nominees.
Very difficult, and it's tough because I just feel like not recency bias, but I feel like some pictures I saw earlier this year, I might be snubbing some actresses or actors because just you forget. We've seen so many films, but here we go. Our Best Picture nominees. I should have went in like a more build-up order, but whatever. We're going in the order of the sheet. Best Picture nominees: After Sun, Banshees of Inisherin, Bones and All, Decision to Leave, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Batman, and The Quiet Girl. Those are our official nominees. Seth's got to be very happy with The Quiet Girl.
How many was
inclusion.
that? Was that 6?
That is 7.
8.
And
Seven.
here are 4 that got votes but were left off our official nominees. These were on the short list but didn't make the cut. All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, On the Count of Three, and Triangle of Sadness. So those are our Best Picture nominees. We will roll right into Best Director. We have 5 beautiful nominees in this category. Charlotte Wells for After Sun, Damien Chazelle for Babylon, Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin, Park Chan-wook for Decision to Leave, and the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So yeah, Damien Chazelle ripped in there with a 5-pointer for my votes. So I gave him my number 1 billing because I freaking love Babylon, as we all know.
Number 1. Okay.
Yep, the ones that got left off that made our short list were Edward Berger for All Quiet on the Western Front, Matt Reeves for The Batman, Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness, S.S. Rajamouli for RRR, and Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans.
All right.
Now on to Best Actor. We have 6 nominees. It's kind of exciting because most of you don't even know what our official nominees are.
We don't know any of them.
Yeah. Best Actor nominees: Austin Butler for Elvis, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Colin Farrell for Banshees of Inisherin, Diego Calva for Babylon, Park Hae-il for Decision to Leave, and Paul Mescal for After Sun.
Yeah. So was Diego Calva not a supporting? Was he like a main?
No, he's the main. He's the main.
Okay. But I think he is the main.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. I was just wondering, as someone who
he's the main. Brad Pitt's supporting. And then the 2 that were left off from the short list were Daniel LaBelle for The Fabelmans and Felix Kammerer for All Quiet on the Western Front. Moving on to Best Actress, we have 6 official nominees. First up is Ana de Armas for Blonde. So Blonde is officially a ReelTok nominated movie.
Wow.
Kate Blanchett for
pointing at Calm. I don't know if you're
Kate Blanchett for Tar, Jennifer Lawrence for Causeway, Maika Monroe for Watcher, Margot Robbie for Babylon, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. The ones who were left off of our shortlist were Florence Pugh, and this only got votes from Seth. I assume you meant Don't Worry Darling, but maybe The Wonder.
No, I think he meant The Wonder, I thought.
I think I meant The Wonder.
Okay, but this is a good note going forward, is tell me which freaking movies. These people are more than
people. When I switched them around and I forgot to, I did actually do that.
But still, she's not nominated anyways. Sorry, Florence. Jessica Chastain, was that for The Good Nurse, Seth?
It was, I liked it.
Okay, I got that one. No, she was great in that. I just had to guess on some of these. Thank you guys for making me do that work. Mia Goth for Pearl. I think someone did specify that.
If I'd have seen that would have been in my top 5. I can guarantee. I'm surprised that isn't a nomination.
Taylor Russell for Bones and All, and Viola Davis for Woman King.
Taylor Russell.
Sorry, Seth. I know you were pulling for that one.
There's 3 of mine on there. Yeah.
Best Supporting Actor, we have 5 nominees on here. We have Barry Keoghan for Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Christopher Abbott for On the Count of Three, Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Ray Fiennes for The Menu. And the honorable mentions in that category are Brad Pitt for Babylon, Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin, and Timothy Chalamet for Bones and All.
Seth, I'm gonna be honest. I had Brendan Gleeson on mine, and then I forget who I switched him out for. But
probably like Michael B. Jordan and Wakanda Forever or something like that.
No, actually, sorry, that's right.
Spoiler.
Yeah, come on, man. Chris Hemsworth was my number 1 for best actor. I'm shocked he didn't make the list. Come on, guys.
Who did you actually switch him out for?
I'm looking. Give me a sec. You continue. I'll tell you after.
Well, I have it right here. Cam's were Well, he put Ray Fiennes at one for the menu, so probably him.
Ray Fiennes. That was
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was watching that as I.
Mhm.
I get that. Ray Fiennes was great.
Now on to Best Supporting Actress, we have 6 lovely nominees here, which I think is this one's.
I
gonna be a
think this
tough
was
one.
the most stacked one.
This is a stacked one.
Yeah.
We have Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Dolly De Leon for Triangle of Sadness, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for Banshees of Inisherin, Stephanie Sue for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Tang Wei for Decision to Leave.
Oh, thank God! I knew that's
Right.
what Seth was looking for.
I said I'm going in
Seth
alphabetical
would've-
order.
Yeah, my man doesn't understand alphabetical order.
If we didn't know
I was
that.
like, what?
The 3 that were left off, one of them hurts my heart because I thought Michelle Williams in The Fablemans was amazing, but I was the only one who saw it. And then again, this one I feel like just kind of got snubbed because it's been so long since we've seen them. But I remember seeing this and thought all the performances were great. But we had 2 Women King left off with Lashana Lynch and Tusa Mbedo, who I think we all agree the Women King was full of just amazing performances.
So George, I was back and I know you went Tusa Mbedo, and I went back and forth on Lashana Lynch and her. And I think if we both would have selected the same one,
they would have absolutely been nominated if you would have picked the same
but
one.
I went Lashana.
You know what? It's a
Lynch
stacked category. They keep your heads up, Tuso and Lashana. Stacked category.
If you're listening.
Yeah, I'm sure they're listening to the ReelTok podcast.
Yeah, they
aren't anymore because they smashed their laptop when they heard they didn't make the official nominees.
True.
Next up, Best Cinematography. We have 6 nominees in this category. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Banshees of Inisherin, Decision to Leave, The Batman, and The Northman.
It's throwing me off that you're counting the as T because I keep thinking you skipped the Batman.
Microsoft Excel is counting the T. It's
Yeah,
not.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Was it just me that picked the Northman?
No one picked it but me, and I gave it the 5-pointer.
Oh, I'm on about a different category.
You're talking visuals.
Yeah.
Production.
I'm talking production.
Doesn't matter.
The 3 that were left off here was Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Swimmers,
That's
which
kind of wild.
I loved the cinematography of The Swimmers, and Top Gun Maverick. Now
It's kind of wild.
That was mine, but I had Top Gun Maverick, but it was like my 5th spot.
I'm fine with it for Everything Everywhere All at Once because I'm glad it's been included in all the other categories, and I feel like cinematography is the one that I would have had nominated everywhere else.
I think I had Everything Everywhere All at Once in probably every single category.
Yeah.
Maybe not score. Maybe not score. I don't remember. I
Best
did it last night and can't even remember.
Best Visual Effects. We have 5 nominees here. Avatar: The Way of Water has to be a strong favorite there. Everything Everywhere All at Once, another great contender. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Nope, and RRR has officially made it into the selection criteria.
Make it, George.
Mad God, even though me and Steph both picked it.
You both picked it at a 1-pointer. And so Black Panther: Wakanda Forever left off, Mad God left off, and The Batman.
Have you
been
two
left
seen
off.
Mad God?
No, I'm gonna watch it this week.
Cam will never watch Mad God.
Yeah, I mean, is it first off, is it available on an easy
It's on
streaming?
Shudder.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's on
I'm
F2,
sure.
baby. Perfect quality.
Shudder.
Yeah, so like I'm never gonna watch that movie unless it's ease of access for me.
Shudder. It is on easy access.
F2.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Best Score. 6 nominees in this category. All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees of Inisherin, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Decision to Leave, and The Batman. And the one that has been left off, only one, is Bones and All, which is a great score as well. Can't give them all nominations, folks.
I think that was
Still,
me.
hats off to
It's
you.
a tough category. To see.
I gave
Was that
Bones
me?
and All as well.
Was that? Oh,
Me and you both nominated it, but
I think that's the one. That's the one category I didn't have Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I didn't have everything ever on.
No,
No one
none
did.
of us did. If it didn't get any
Those
points.
6, completely fine. Yeah, 6 are perfect.
6 nominees for Best Foreign Film. All Quiet on the
I
Western.
loved Cam's entry to this.
I haven't seen. But I've seen 2.
Yeah. Well,
Good
yeah,
movies.
okay. All
Very
Quiet
good
on the
movies.
Western Front. Bardo.
Haven't seen it.
Decision to Leave. RRR. The Quiet Girl, and Vikram. The one that has been left off, I'm sorry, Seth, is Speak No Evil. And that is the only one that didn't make
I think
the
I'm-
cut.
George, have you seen that yet?
I haven't.
Okay, yeah.
I'm happy Vikram got into that.
I haven't seen that, to be fair. I haven't seen it yet.
The broadest category by far, where we have 11 different entries, not all nominees, but that's how many votes I compiled
Wow.
for this. We have his best animated film that we're going over now. There's 6 official nominees. We have Apollo 10 and a half, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Mad
Yes.
God, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and The Sea Beast.
Oh, thank Christ, Guardians of the Galaxy didn't get
Damn.
nominated.
Well, that's not an animated
live
film.
It's not
action.
animated.
I'm
What? am I?
Seth,
Oh,
Seth,
sorry.
what-
My
You're,
mind was on
you're thinking
superheroes.
comic
Yeah.
book.
What are
That's
you
next.
on,
That's
And
bro?
next.
also,
Don't worry.
I'm pretty confident it might.
The ones that were left off of Best Animated Film are Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers,
I put that on mine.
Intergalactic,
I give it a 2.5. It's
Intergalactic, Robert
I thought that would've
Zemeckis'
been on.
Pinocchio that Seth had to put on there,
Damn.
Turning Red, and Wendell and Wild.
Rip Turning Red.
I'm
Now
surprised
we're-
that Intergalactic didn't get it. I thought you guys liked that film. I'm
It was
surprised.
on- it was
I
on
did,
my
but
list.
I think it was a solid year for animation. There's
It
just
was,
other ones
man.
that I
It's
didn't
good.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I
Good
should
year.
watch more, to be fair. Fair enough.
Best comic book movie, there are 5 nominees. First nominee is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Fine.
Then we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Then we have The Batman, Werewolf by Night, and Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
That was
Damn
not.
it.
That was not in alphabetical.
Nope, because I
order.
wanted to build suspense for that one.
I know. I
The
knew,
ones
I knew
that-
it was going to be on there. It was my third.
Yeah.
DC
One-
League of Super Pets snubbed.
I
Oh,
would
Yep.
rather have the online.
George, you and I are the only ones who voted for that one, which somehow
Mine
didn't get
was-
any
it
votes
would've-
for animated film. But
it would have been 5th on mine, so it doesn't
That's some
affect it too
horse
much.
shit,
but
so DC League of Super Pets received votes, and receiving 1 vote was Black Adam.
Who voted for
Who
that?
voted?
Seth.
Me, no, me.
You did?
Oh, really?
Wait, so
You saw that?
That's
Seth.
how bad it is. I only
Yeah.
put 4 films down. Black
Forgot it
Adam
was that.
wasn't on.
That's
I
your
have-
5th of the year.
Yeah, I have Black
Well-
Adam ahead of Thor: Love and Thunder,
Yuck.
but I hated
Okay.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
I hate
Yeah, that's fine.
Best
Interesting.
horror movie. We have 7 nominees in this category. We have
I
10
struggled
overall
with
movies.
It's a great year for horror.
Yeah, a lot of these blend the genres, between horror and other stuff, but that's okay. That's our reward show. The nominees for best horror film are Bones and All, Fresh, Mad God,
Oh.
Nope, The Black Phone, The Menu, and Watcher. The 3 that
I
did
need
not
to
make
see
it. The 3 that did not make it were Barbarian, Pearl, and X. A double snub for Mia Goth.
Yeah.
Tough.
That's surprising that Pearl didn't get in. It's
This
got
is
such
the
good
this is the
reviews.
last one I can listen to, fellas, and then I gotta hop.
Sounds good. Funniest movie of the year. We have 8 nominees here. Banshees of Inisherin, Bodies, 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 Bullet Train, Glass Onion: A Knives Out Mystery, The Menu, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Triangle of Sadness, and Violent Night. The 2 that were left off were DC League of Super Pets and I Want You Back. And that
What's
is
I
the
Want
funniest
You
movie.
Back?
It's a Amazon Prime rom-com. It's a good movie. I gotta go. Do you want me to not mess up the space? Do you just want me to turn off my camera and you leave me there?
You can leave if you want.
Okay. I didn't know if it would mess up like your little design.
Yeah.
I thought.
That's when you come in. That's when you duplicate yourself. That's it.
and when I leave, I'll see you guys.
All right,
Always a
peace out.
pleasure. Bye.
All right, we have a couple more nominees to go through here, and that is next up, best screenplay. So we didn't do a differentiation between adapted or original. I feel like they can all be combined into one for this purpose, and that's what we did. And we have 5 nominees here: After Sun, Banshees of Inisherin, Decision to Leave, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and On the Count of 3, The Batman and the Quiet Girl were left off.
Wow. And the count of 3, really interesting.
We have two awards left, and I realized I wish I could have done stats on the most nominated one, which I'll do after this, but I think Banshees has to be one of our most nominated films here. Best Production Design: All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Northman. And the ones that were left off for Best Production Design were Banshees of Inisherin, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and Top Gun: Maverick.
I think I had the Northman quite high on this one. I loved the production down.
You had it at 5, yeah. You had it at the highest one. And the last
5 points.
right, 5 points. Yep, which I did as well. The final award is Best TV Show, which we totally did not throw together at the last second. We thought long and hard. And there's 8 nominees here: Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 1, Better Call Saul, Blackbird, House of the Dragon, Peacemaker, Severance, The Bear, and The Boys are all of our nominees for Best TV Show of the Year. there you have it, folks. All of our nominees for all of our awards. I think we did. It was hard work, but we did a great job. I'm proud of our nominees selection we got for all these awards.
It was so much tougher to put together than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it was definitely challenging to put together, but we'll send these out on Monday on social medias, so you can all put in your votes for that as well, so you can help us pick who the winners are going to be. And this is exciting because now the slate's clean. So like I said earlier, I had them all rank them to me like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But the slate's completely clean now. You can vote for, just because you put After Sun as your number one best picture doesn't mean you guys have to vote for that. I'll send out the ballot to you guys as well, and you'll send me a fresh ballot with your winners. So yeah, that's all I have for that. So I'll kick it over to George now.
We'll wrap up the episode there. Tyler, brilliant job going through all of that. And again, follow us on all of our social medias. That is where we're going to start posting the link for you guys to go and vote. We want to get you guys as involved as possible. We want as many of you guys to vote on these as much as possible. So make sure you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Also subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Rate us 5 stars, all of the above. We absolutely love when you guys shout us out on Twitter and post us to your stories. And even make TikTok videos about us. It's hilarious. We absolutely love it. We adore your support. We'll wrap it up there. Tyler, Seth, thank you for joining. Cam, we love you. You're not here. Thank you for joining as well. And we will see you guys next week. I know you're listening to this on a Monday, but it's Friday, so I hope everyone enjoys the holiday season. Peace out.
See ya.